Atmosphere building really nicely at the Swansea.com stadium. Russell Martin has taken his seat in the dugout and the players are just on their way out. It's a cold day in South Wales, but can Swansea call Southampton's red-hot run of form? Or the Saints turn up the heat on the top two? Let's find out, shall we? In the company of former Scotland striker Chris Owellamo and your match commentator Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Faye. Good afternoon once again. Russell Martin returns to South West Wales with the same principles which charm many of the locals who are happy to see their team play in a certain way without necessarily troubling the business end of the table. But the key difference is now that his new club have been in a position to give him the tools to challenge as well. The depth and quality in the Southampton squad is very different to what he had here at Swansea, where the overarching policy of developing assets to sell on has restricted the ambition of a number of talented coaches since they fell out of the Premier League. And Luke Williams is the latest to take on that challenge, but as a former assistant to Martin here, he should be well aware of what is to come. A reminder of the two teams once again. One change for Swansea City from their 2-2 draw at Birmingham. In Luke Williams' first league game in charge, they were denied victory by a Welsh international, Jordan James, in the final moments of that game. The only change sees Harrison Ashby come back into the side after 11 matches out with injury with a hamstring problem. He's on loan from Newcastle. 17-year-old Sam Parker is absent due to an injury himself. So their team is Rushworth in goal, Darling, Wood and Humphreys the back three, Ashby and Tymon in the wide areas, Fulton and Grimes at the heart of midfield, with Jamal Lowe supported by Patterson and Cullen in attack. For Southampton, it is same again from their 4-0 victory against Sheffield Wednesday. Bazunu in goal, Walker, Peters, Harwood, Bellis, Bednarek manning the back four, Smallbone, Downs and Stuart Armstrong in midfield. Adam Armstrong, Adams and Fraser in attack. Joe Rothwell is on the bench following his low move from Bournemouth, and both Ryan Manning and Flynn Downs are up against one of their former clubs here today. It is a grey day, and the wind which was swirling around the Swansea.com stadium earlier on this morning has now abated. But Chris Owellamo, this is a really big game, I'm sure, for Russell Martin. He's always been trying to play down his return to Swansea City, but there's always an edge, whether you're a player or a manager, and you go back to a club which you have such a long association with.
No, you're spot on, Nigel. I think this is a huge game for both managers. Now, Russell Martin, yeah, of course, he's come back to his old club. Never really had any success here, but he definitely changed the style of play. He did excite the fans in the way that he played with the possession game. But there's so much on this game. They can jump into the automatic places. You know, they're on that unbeaten run. They can break club records. You know, he's coming back to his old club. He wants to get one over his old assistant manager. You know, there's so much on it. But on the spin side, you look at Luke Williams, it's the exact same. He wants to get one over the probably one of the strongest squads, if not the strongest squads coming down from the Premier League, who are, before a ball was kicked, were favourites to get promoted. It's his old manager. You know, he's then got to instill that belief in his group of players that they can go out there and mix it with the best of them.
We saw Southampton play at the start of the season when they had that horrible run of 4 successive defeats, and they were pretty dreadful in terms of giving away goals and being rather passive in possession. Did he compromise on his principles to get them back into form, or is it a case of the players basically getting to grips with the Russell Martin way?
I would say the latter, Nigel. He never compromised. I don't think Russell Martin knows what the word compromise means. You know, he doesn't. It's not part of his vocabulary. You know, so when you look at it, he doesn't shy away from it. He wants his team to play a certain way. That's the demands that he puts on his players. Yes, there are passive individual errors, but they improved under him.
Southampton get the game underway, looking for a club record, 20 league games without defeat, and they are in the black and grey shirts, defending the goal away to our left-hand side in the first half. Swansea City wearing all white, and this should be a fascinating start to another busy day in the EFL. On the home of the EFL, Talksport 2, of course. There are games off in various parts of the country due to the weather. Talksport.com is the place to check on all the games which aren't being played today, but we are definitely playing here in South West Wales. The Frost and bitterly cold temperatures earlier this week have given way to a milder day, but there is still a very chilly wind blowing in off the Mumbles as Southampton look to build on this near side. Harwood Bellis with a long diagonal ball forward wide to the left, picking out the tiny figure of Ryan Fraser, scampering forward down the left. He's got support from a former Swansea player, Ryan Manning. Back in field to another, Flynn Downs, and now Manning again, and Southampton have barely given Swansea a kick in the opening 70 seconds or so here.
Yeah, they haven't. They've been excellent. I've got to say, outstanding Southampton. Swansea playing that high line, pushing the players up. Jamal Lowe kind of on his own has a big job to do today, but the three in behind just sit very compact. They're not allowing the likes of Flynn Downs to get anywhere near Smallbone, to get anywhere near the ball. But then when you've got the likes of Harwood Bellis, the ball into Che Adams was outstanding. Not in the air, passing through that really tight unit.
Walker-Peters coming forward now on this near side, the Southampton right, drives in the cross, and it goes straight behind, and it will be a goal kick. Oliver Langford is our referee here today, as the ball is recovered by Carl Rushworth, the Swansea goalkeeper, who is on loan from Brighton, as are so many talented young players in the EFL at the moment.
I'm just looking at this, Nigel. Look at this. Look at the way that Southampton, you've got the likes of Armstrong and Fraser, with Che Adams just dropping a little bit deeper, forcing Swansea to kick it. And all the while, it's Nathan Wood that's just sitting back right beside the goalkeeper as an option to go short. But they have to be better, Swansea, in possession, as I say. I think Southampton intercepted that, forced them a certain way, forced the error, and now have possession again.
Walker-Peters infield again towards Adam Armstrong, who has 14 goals and 11 assists so far this season. The first player in English football senior divisions to have 10+ involvements and assists, as Adams goes for an audacious volley. It was a high ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area for Manning, and Adams was winding up for the big one there, but it sliced off the outside of his right boot and behind for a goal kick.
Well, they can do anything, Southampton. Ryan Manning, if he's not got that opposition player, the ball comes in from deep, doesn't it? It's an excellent ball from Che Adams there. I think with the quality that Che has, you'll be disappointed that he's not connected with that better. And in what Rushworth there.
3 minutes played here at the Swansea.com Stadium in South West Wales. Swansea City 0, Southampton 0. Southampton 19 league games unbeaten, looking to set a new club record today as Adams brings the ball in field, looks to feed it wide to Adam Armstrong, but it's cut out on this near side by Wood, and then the ball played forward towards Stuart Armstrong, who was offside, as he fires a shot in towards the near post, and it's blocked anyway, and it will be a free kick for Swansea on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, what I'm really impressed with, Nigel, is anytime that ball goes to Che Adams, he can take it on his chest, he can set it for the two that's facing up, or there's always one gambling in behind. He always has those options. You know, usually it's one or the other, or two of the three. He has every single one every single time, and that's not even including the wide men when it's on to go forward, the likes of Manning and Kyle Walker-Peters.
And once again, Rushworth looking to clear the ball long downfield. The central defenders split, but even then there wasn't really an option due to the press from the three Southampton forward players, as you were talking about.
Yeah, I don't mind it though, because if Rushworth does kick a few, Southampton then drop, because Armstrong and Fraser never went to the edge of the box, then that's when you get brave centre-backs dropping quick, getting the ball, opening up, seeing the full picture in front. So I understand they're not going to just come out and play on the back, because if you lose a goal doing that in this game, it's a very, very, you've got a mountain to climb, haven't you?
Now Bazunu at the other end, looking to play the ball out quickly, and he has support from Bednarek, and wide to Smallbone on this near side, on the halfway line for Southampton. Walker-Peters is forward again, right to the challenge of Cullen, and Grimes comes in field, and there is space for Manning now down the left-hand side for the Saints. Here is Fraser again, looking to attack Harrison Ashby, who is back in the Swansea City side for the first time since late November here today, and it's an interesting game for him to come back in, the youngster on loan from Newcastle. Now Downs again, back towards Harwood Bellis, looking for a second successive promotion from the Championship on loan from Manchester City following his year at Burnley, as Swansea give the ball away on the edge of their own penalty area. Smallbone works it across, looking for Fraser on the far side, but it's eventually cleared away by Ashby all the way through to Bazunu.
Well, it's again, when that ball does go forward with pace across the floor or even clipped into the body, they've got willing runners, Smallbone, going and making sure that he picks up that second ball. I've got to say it was a poor ball from Smallbone. I think he's got to find Adams.
But now an opportunity again for Stuart Armstrong inside the penalty area. Checks back in field. Right footed shot is blocked, but then it's turned in by Adams. And Southampton are on their way inside the opening 6 minutes. A tap in for Shea Adams, and the team looking for a club record. 20 league games unbeaten are ahead at the Swansea.com stadium. At the moment, Southampton cannot be stopped, and they lead Swansea by 1-0.
Well, it's an excellent goal. It's an excellent run from Armstrong down that left-hand side, coming into the box, and it's a little one round the corner from Adams. And it's, you know what, he's chopped it. He's come back onto his right, opened up the goal, trying to find that bottom right-hand corner. It's a great save from Rushworth. Great save, but who's alive to it? Who's free? I've got to say it's pure defending. It's Nathan Wood at the back end there. He's got to be aware of where Shea Adams is. You know, because it just comes to him. He's got an open goal. Just make sure the connection's right, and you put it in. It's an excellent goal, but there's 2 free runs that have to be picked up there.
And Southampton, unbeaten since September, are ahead once again as Humphreys, who was rather caught out there at the far post by Adams, plays it long downfield again. Bazunu looking to play the ball out, but he's given the ball away to Patterson, but only briefly, as Harwood Bellis makes the challenge, and Bednarek is able to bring the ball clear. And Southampton always keep their central defenders on their toes. But they've only scored once in their last 6 away games, 2 1-0 wins and 4 1-1 draws, but they've got plenty of time to build on it here already, leading by 1-0 as Walker-Peters brings it forward again and finds Adam Armstrong down the centre, looking for Adams, but the ball just strikes him on the heel. Had he allowed the ball to run, Fraser was clean through. Yeah, you're spot on. I don't understand why Fraser hasn't given Adams that information. It's a great little ball from Adam Armstrong with outside of the right boot. Well, very, very central, but Fraser's come right in off the line, basically going in behind Shea Adams. He doesn't have to control that, and it was behind him anyway. Well, 4 of Southampton's last 6 victories here have all been by 1-0 during the Premier League era, and the most recent one in 2018 effectively relegated Swansea and kept the Saints up. Now Adam Armstrong again plays it wide to Fraser. His first time shot, right-footed, is blocked by Darling inside the penalty area. Ashby will recover possession, and eventually it will be played out on the far side. But Swansea here need to find a foothold on the game. 8 minutes played, already a goal down, but looking to come forward now with Diamond over the halfway line. He's got support from Cullen on his outside down the left. The early cross into the penalty area from Timon. Jamal Lowe was the only white shirt waiting, but in the end, Smallbone will win the ball back for Southampton on the edge of the penalty area. Plays the ball infield to Downs. Downs is rather hemmed in, but Southampton have the confidence to play the ball out, but it's quickly won back by Fulton, charging forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but he runs into Downs, and Downs will play the ball over the top, and Adams here could be away. He was inside his own half when he started the run, so he was onside, and eventually he's been caught by Nathan Wood, and it will be a free kick for Southampton. They take it quickly, and here is Fraser now. Plays it wide to Stuart Armstrong once again, and Swansea were caught napping there. Armstrong coming forward, flicks it with the outside of his heel, looking for Fraser on the outside. It wasn't really the right option, and Swansea will recover the ball. But 8 minutes played here. Southampton lead by 1-0, and Swansea defensively are a shambles. Yeah, they need to do better. I think communication, but you've got to understand, Nigel, Luke Williams has set them up not to be overly defensive. You know, so players have to take responsibility. 1v1, they're second best at the minute, and I'm talking about defensively. I think Smallbone's getting far too much time. Adam Armstrong's floating all around the place, out on the right, into central, getting far too much time to turn on the ball again now. Adam Armstrong coming forward now down the right-hand side, cutting in field. Left foot shot from him is low, and it's a comfortable save for Rushworth, but it was too easy for the Saints once again. Too easy. You know, so someone has to take. So I'm looking at Humphreys or Timon, having that understanding. Someone has to take that. But if Luke Williams is saying to Timon, I want you to be on the halfway line looking to go forward all the time, that responsibility falls with Humphreys. I'm not seeing that at the minute. I'm seeing someone that's backing off,
backing off, allowing a player of Armstrong's quality to get the ball, turn, do what he wants. Get touch tight, make sure you're physical, make sure you're aggressive, and make sure that ball goes back.
Well, it's a very young back three for Swansea as they're under pressure again now. Adams with an excellent ball to pick out Fraser. Left-hand side, low shot from him is beaten away by Rushworth, who then recovers superbly to block the second shot from Adam Armstrong. A superb double save there to prevent Swansea going 2 goals down.
Wow. 2 outstanding saves. Rushworth, first one from Fraser, who's come in on his right, trying to find that bottom right-hand corner. He's saved it, but it's went back into the danger area. Armstrong's onto it, and you know what? He's only a couple of metres away. Rushworth makes himself big, doesn't know a lot about it, but what an outstanding save, Nigel.
Well, Arsenal lead by a goal to nil over on Talksport against Crystal Palace in the Premier League, thanks to Gabrielle. So a choice of listening today across the Talksport network this lunchtime. And if you download the Talksport app and go to the live commentary section, you can swipe between that game and this game, where we've played only 11 minutes, but already Southampton leading by a goal to nil. They could be 3 up.
Yeah, I'm looking at Swansea now, very much all sitting, 2 banks, we low on his own. They have to be brave.
Now Fraser again with a cross into the penalty area, headed away by Humphreys without a huge amount of conviction. Bednarek was almost in, and in the end it's slashed away by Ashby, straight out of play on this near side, but anyway will do for Swansea at the moment.
Now that's where I'm looking at Ashby. He's under no pressure there whatsoever. Yes, he's got a congested area behind him and players in front. He has to take that ball down. That's what Luke Williams wants. Take the ball down, be brave and composed in possession. Drive with it yourself if you have to. Get a throw in, but we keep possession of the ball. You can't be doing that. That will not be happening in a couple more weeks here at Swansea.
And of course Luke Williams was the assistant to Russell Martin, both here and at MK Dons, and as we heard from him before kick-off, they were a very close partnership, but he left in the end for personal reasons a couple of years ago and took time out of the game for a few months before getting the job at Notts County and bringing them back into the Football League. And they had a very good start to the season. 55 goals they scored by New Year's Day, but they also conceded 49. And at the moment we can see a Swansea team here in the early weeks who are certainly porous at the back.
No, yeah, I think you're right there. I think when you're a new manager, you come into a club, a huge club, Swansea is, that you want to score goals. You have to kind of put all your energy into that. I don't think Luke Williams or Russell Martin are let's be defensively sound and then build on that. It's about being creative. I think probably Russell Martin's the more defensive, as in keeping possession of the ball.
Adam Armstrong with a low cross into the penalty area down the left-hand side, and this time it's gathered at the near post by Rushworth. But Southampton here are finding so much room deep inside the penalty area, and that must be a concern for Luke Williams.
Well, it will be a concern, but you look at that front 5, front 6, you know, the movement, there is such an understanding between them, and that's just because they're in high confidence, playing in fantastic form at the minute, but there's a real movement. Sure, Armstrong is, I've never seen him more mobile in my life. Energy, bombing up and down, but his distribution, excellent. But I could say that for the front 5, Nigel.
And Shea Adams with his 9th goal of the season. He was last in double figures in the Championship with Birmingham 5 seasons ago, as Josh Tymon comes forward now for Swansea. Wide towards Cullen down the left. The early cross into the penalty area, and it's sliced away at the near post by Harwood Bellis. Recovered by Walker Peters. Down the line looking for Smallbone, but won back well by Tymon. And here is another opportunity now for Cullen down the left-hand side. Tymon's cross, though, is blocked by Walker Peters, and Swansea will have a throw-in, and there is some encouragement for the home crowd here. The Swansea.com stadium is far from a sellout here today, although the Southampton supporters away to our left are very vocal, and of course they have sold out their allocation. As Bashir Humphreys with a long ball forward, looking for Ashby on the far side. He's challenged by Manning, and Ashby is convinced he should have a corner, but the assistant on the far side, Graham Kane, has given a goal kick. Well,
I'm going to have to look at that one myself. Here it is on the monitor now. Yeah, it's a corner kick. I don't understand what the linesman is thinking there, you know. It's a great little ball from Humphreys as well, splits it, and that's how they have to move the ball. I think Swansea have had a little bit of a moment there down this left hand side. Excellent cross in that was cut out. Here they go again.
And now Grimes has won it back, the Swansea captain. Everything coming down their left-hand side at the moment. Grimes swings in a high, deep cross. Challenging was Ashby at the far post, but it's cleared away. And now Stuart Armstrong on the counter-attack for Southampton. Ryan Fraser, great pace from him ahead of him. Adams waits inside the penalty area. Fraser comes in, Phil goes for the right foot curler. And again, it's another good save from Rushworth. His fourth significant save in the opening 15 minutes.
Very good hands from Rushworth, isn't it? You know, it's come in. Fraser just manipulated that ball, got that yard, and he connected with it well. Not probably the most powerful shot, but it's bounced as well, just right in front of Rushworth there. And Adams is running right in there for the rebound as well, so it had to be good hands.
16 minutes played here on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL, and it's Swansea 0, Southampton 1. A win for the Saints today, and it will be 20 league games unbeaten, and that will be a league record for them. They did have a run of 24 league games without defeat when they were in the Southern League back in 1897. But this would also be a record 10 away games unbeaten should they avoid defeat. And they're a side who have only failed to score twice so far this season. Of course, they had those 4 successive defeats in December, as there's a challenge in the centre circle here, and there will be a card shown, and it's a yellow card, the first of the game for Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who just got caught out there as it was clipped forward over the top. And it was Jamie Patterson who was away from him, and he was straight armed there by Harwood-Bellis, a wrestling move which earns him the booking.
I tell you what, that's a when I'm looking at that could be possibly a red card, in my opinion. I know he's not the last man because the two obviously white defensive unit are there, but they're very wide. Jamie Patterson is definitely going to be getting on goal there. It's definitely going to be an opportunity at goal, I think. So very, very lucky. I think the referee was positioned perfectly well. Yellow card came out straight away, but it's basically a clothesline to the neck from Harwood-Bellis on Patterson.
And now Fulton brings it forward for Swansea, but his ball wide to this near side. Doesn't find Humphreys. It's intercepted by Smallbone, but he in turn has given the ball away. Now Timon infield looking for Jamal Lowe, but Bednarek gets there first. His ball forward, though, is won by Nathan Wood, and now it's wide to the far side at Ashby. The early ball lofted forward looking for Jamal Lowe, but Harwood-Bellis will head the ball back. Bazunu comes outside his penalty area to avoid giving away the corner kick, but just hoofs the ball straight into the crowd anyway, and it will be a throw-in for Swansea on this near side. This is the first of 2 big games coming up from the Championship, live and exclusive to Talksport 2 today at 3 o'clock. We will have Norwich against West Bromwich Albion with Ian Danter and Dean Ashton. And tomorrow, 12 noon, here on Talksport 2, for Leeds against Preston and Manchester City against Liverpool from the Women's Super League. We'll follow that game at 2:30. And in many ways, the game of the weekend in the EFL Championship is on Monday night. The current top 2, Leicester against Ipswich, and that's live on Talksport 2 at 8 o'clock. Over on Talksport at the same time from the Premier League, it is Brighton against Wolves. As Bashir Humphreys, only 20 years of age, on loan from Chelsea, plays the ball in field towards Nathan Wood, who himself is only 21 and is recently back from a back injury. But Swansea have given the ball away far too easily again. Here is Adams, wide towards Adam Armstrong. Smallbone, 19 minutes played on Talksport 2. The Saints a goal up and the dominant team so far. I was in South Wales last weekend to see Leeds absolutely wipe the floor with Cardiff, and the way this game has started, Chris, we could be heading for a similar outcome.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Swansea are there's an understanding there. They are getting better. I think Southampton with the ball, it's the best I've seen them. It's the best I've seen them. The way that they're moving, even the way that Swansea started that high press, trying to kind of force the error. Played through it comfortably. The ball sticks when it goes up to that front 3. There's willing runners going and supporting. I mean, it's the perfect performance as of yet. Balls coming into the box. I think they're defensively on the front foot and reacting to that.
Here's another long ball played forward, looking for Stuart Armstrong. He maintains possession and finds Fraser back towards Armstrong again. The cross low into the penalty area, and Smallbone is there to tap it a second. And Southampton lead by 2-0, and that was far too easy for them. Swansea absolutely picked apart, and Will Smallbone was there to tap in his 4th goal of the season, and the club records are about to fall for the Saints. 2-0.
It was a great goal, but I'm going to have to look at the monitor here. I'm thinking Stuart Armstrong's offside by the reaction of all the players of where he was, but you have to play to the whistle. You have to go all the way. Smallbone has been energy back to front. I'm looking at it on the monitor now. Good possession, straight ball over the top. He's onside from this initial one. It's the second phase though. It comes and he's standing on. I'm looking at it now. He's offside. It's a disgrace. The ball goes out here. It's offside. And that's that. It was so close. Stuart Armstrong's coming back from that's offside. That's when the ball's reversed, and I thought it was. The linesman's got to put his flag up because that's a clear yard for me, Nigel, and that's a disgrace. Now you're talking about VAR. VAR looks at it. It's an easy decision. Now Swansea are 2-0 down. Where a goal that should have been cut off. Stuart Armstrong's offside.
And of course, as we all know, no VAR in the Championship, so the goal stands. Christo Karavinov, the assistant on this near side, kept the flag down, and when you look at the 18-yard camera on our monitor, as we've just done so, there's no doubt he was clearly offside in behind Nathan Wood, but the flag stayed down. I think the speed of that counter-attack maybe caught out the assistant on this near side. Yeah,
I would agree with the speed of it, but it's the second phase. The ball gets flicked out to Stuart Armstrong. He cuts it back. I think it's to Manning, and then it's a little reverse pass on it. I think it might have been even Fraser. He's offside. That's the linesman's job. Is to see that, and he's not obstructed in any way. You can see right across the line. He's a yard and a half offside. The flag should go up comfortably and easily enough.
Arsenal still 1-0 up on Palace over on Talksport. 2-0 to Southampton here with 22 minutes played. And of course the Saints won 5-0 at St Mary's on Boxing Day. And that was their biggest victory since May of 2015, when, you may remember, Sadio Mane scored the Premier League's quickest ever hat-trick against Aston Villa in a 6-1 victory. And it was also Swansea's biggest defeat since relegation. And at the moment, they could be heading for another hammering as Manning plays it wide towards the far side. And here is Fraser again. Both the goals have come down that left-hand side where Harrison Ashby is back after 11 games out with injury.
What I will say with the goal as well, Smallbone, his energy from back to front, someone's got to be following.
Nobody tracked his run, did they?
Exactly, someone's got to take responsibility. We've already talked about it a couple of times, that how much joy he's having, Nigel. Someone's got to track him all the way, right through the centre. He's 2 yards from goal.
And both goals have been scored deep inside the 6-yard area as Adam Armstrong controls on his chest. Back towards Manning. High cross to the far post. Adams will try and keep the ball in play, but it's gone behind. And it will be a goal kick. So Southampton heading for a club record 20 league games unbeaten. And this would be 14 wins and 6 draws since those 4 successive losses in September. And it would also be 10 successive away games unbeaten. And they are closing in on their all-time club record from non-league of 24 games in the 19th century. And at the moment, they are heading into the top 2. And of course, Ipswich live on Talksport 2 on Monday against Leicester. Southampton are looking like the class in the field beyond Leicester.
Oh, by a country mile. Southampton are the best team in the league at the minute. What I've seen and what I've witnessed, I think, you've seen little flashes of it, but it's just implementing time on the grass, confidence in winning games. These players, it's like without the ball, they know exactly their responsibilities. With the ball, it's so fluid. Everyone that's so mobile, ball moves with pace, everyone has an option. It can go back, it can go forward, 3-4 options going forward. If it's not on, it's going long with quality into feet and body.
Well, it's been a chastening day so far for Luke Williams. 24 minutes played on Talksport 2. Southampton leading here by 2-0. And here is Walker-Peters for the Saints. And they have played this game like the home team so far, and the lack of atmosphere inside what can often be a raucous and passionate Swansea.com stadium tells you all you need to know. Lots of glum faces all around us here in the main stand.
Yeah, I understand that. You know, I think the fans play a massive part. You know, but the players have to kind of get that excitement from the group and from the fans.
And now Fraser coming infield again to find Armstrong. The shot was blocked, though, inside the penalty area by retreating Grimes, and it will be a corner kick on the far side.
Yeah, Grimes had to go all the way there. You know, Adam Armstrong was he's just coming on to run about the penalty spot, just opened up the left foot to try and just feel it in. And Grimes, you know, that's the responsibility you have to take. You have to follow your man. If he's not there, you're asking Rushworth a few questions again. To be fair, he's had the answers for most of what Southampton have thrown at him.
Corner kick on the far side for Southampton, their first of the game, already leading by 2-0. Armstrong in towards the near post, flicked on by Adam Armstrong, and it's over the top. It was a very clever move, and he just helped the ball on with the outside of his right boot, and it whizzed over the top. Yeah,
I think it's good movement there from Armstrong. I think the referees gave a free kick. I don't know if there was a little block or a pull on the defensive player of Swansea. But yeah, they have. This is. I think this is where they have to try and be brave and play out. But when does Luke Williams? When does he think, right? Okay, it's just about not conceding too many goals, because that can have a kind of effect on the confidence as well. But you want to stick to your guns and not veer away from your style of play.
Patterson looking to bring the ball forward. We've played 26 minutes here. Southampton lead by 2-0. 73% possession, 10 shots, 7 on target. Now Tymon coming forward now. Patterson cuts it back inside the penalty area. Tymon goes for goal, and it's over the top. It was Swansea's first shot. It was hit with the outside of the right boot. He tried to arc the ball over Bazunu, and he wasn't too far away.
Yeah, I've got to say it's an excellent effort there. I'm looking at Liam Cullen. Liam Cullen, the ball was cut back to him, and he's actually, the Southampton player had gambled and tried to go in front. He could have just rolled it and opened up, and he's probably 10 yards from goal. And he set the ball for Tymon. He's got to be aware of his surroundings there.
Now a long ball played forward again, looking for Adam Armstrong, and Nathan Wood will turn and just smash the ball away on the far side. And there's no real confidence for Swansea when they're in possession at the moment, and that's a commodity they really need, the way that Luke Williams wants them to play. But Southampton, the away team, 10 shots in the opening 25 minutes here, 7 on target. Swansea, until that effort from Tymon, had not had a single shot on goal.
No, and this is the way the game is playing out. I think Ryan Fraser on that left-hand side causing all sorts of problems. Here he comes again, I think.
Fraser coming forward now into the penalty area, fighting Stuart Armstrong. Pull back to Adam Armstrong. It'll break out to Che Adams inside the box, and now Walker Peters looking to drive his way through. His shot, though, was blocked inside the area, and in the end, it's won back by Walker Peters. He's around the back now, in behind. Jamal Lowe drives in the cross. It's blocked by Bashir Humphreys, and it will be a corner kick. And Southampton there could have scored on 3 or 4 occasions in that one move.
Well, I think they're lucky, Swansea, that they don't give away a penalty here. Kyle Walker-Peters gets the ball here just in front, and Bashir, for me, that's a penalty kick if the referee or linesman gives it. Kyle Walker-Peters back up on his feet, gets control of the ball. Excellent close control, and to be fair, Humphreys was very tentative not to have any contact whatsoever there. But for me, very lucky not to be conceding a penalty.
Armstrong with a high ball towards the far post. There's some shirt pulling as it's headed back in field. It comes out towards Walker Peters. Now Manny again down the right hand side. So much room now for Stuart Armstrong. Inside the penalty area, goes for goal at the near post, and it's claimed well by Rushworth.
Yeah, Stuart Armstrong again finding those little pockets in the 18-yard box as well. This time he takes his first touch straight towards the goal, puts all the power in it, and I've got to say good hands from Rushworth again.
And you're listening to Swansea against Southampton in the EFL Championship on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. As Rushworth, under severe pressure from Fraser, plays the ball out on the far side. And now Nathan Wood could have a problem here because he's been isolated and he's got Fraser all over him. Eventually it's jabbed down the line towards Darling. Stuart Armstrong gets the final touch, and it will be a throw-in for Swansea. But every time Southampton get the ball here. They are swarming all over the home side.
No, they are. You know, that ball went back to Rushworth there. He had Fraser and Armstrong around him. To be fair, he's controlled the ball and got out of it, but he was put into a predicament there. So again, they've dealt with it. They've tried to pull out. They've kept possession of the ball with the throw-in, but that quality does need to improve in possession of the ball for Swansea.
29 minutes played. Swansea 0, Southampton 2 on Talksport 2. Norwich against West Brom coming up at 3 o'clock. And Adrian Durham will have all the goals as they go in from elsewhere. The games which have survived the weather up and down the country with Game Day Live over on Talksport from 2:30. Arsenal still a goal up on Palace in the Premier League over on Talksport at the moment. Tymon coming forward now for Swansea, finding Cullen on this near side. Back in field towards Tymon. Challenged though by Flynn Downs, who has had the measure of his former teammates at the moment. And now Adam Armstrong with the early ball forward, looking for the run of Fraser down the centre. May have used his arm there as he tried to control the ball under pressure from Darling, and the referee agrees, and it will be a free kick.
Well, I've got to say, Adam Armstrong down this right-hand side plays that kind of ball from deep. About 4 Swansea fans stood up in front of us claiming for offside. Never been offside, Nigel. Ryan Fraser, it's that blatantly on because Swansea defensive line is so high. He's come in off the line, arced his run, and it's a great ball in behind from Armstrong. He knows exactly that relationship between the two because he does the exact same.
Now Bashir Humphreys once again for Swansea in towards Matt Grimes, who really is the conductor for Swansea, but he's not been able to get on the ball at all so far. And the home side have given the ball away again, and there have been so many turnovers during this first half. And now Jay Fulton catches Will Smallbone late. There'll be at least a word from Oliver Langford, the referee. And with 14 minutes to play in the first half, Southampton leading here by 2-0, heading into the top 2 and heading for 20 successive league games unbeaten, which will be a club record. And they've got games coming up next, away to Rotherham and at home to Huddersfield, in addition to a trip to Watford in the FA Cup. Now Fraser down the left-hand side for Southampton. A high cross into the penalty area, nodded away by Tymon, straight to Stuart Armstrong. His shot is blocked. It loops high into the penalty area. Now Walker-Peters flicks it on. It's flicked on by Downs, and a chance now inside the penalty area for Adam Armstrong. His shot is blocked by Rushworth. The ball is still alive inside the penalty area, and eventually there was a foul on the goalkeeper Rushworth by Che Adams, who just gave him a nudge as he leapt for the high ball. And amid the chaos inside that 6-yard area, it's a free kick for the home side, but it should have been another Southampton goal. Yeah,
it should have been if it wasn't for Rushworth. Look at this save. You know, Armstrong's only a couple of metres away from him, if that, and he's hit it with pace, hit it with power, hit it low. And all Rushworth, I think he's been outstanding today. You know, you look at the goals he's conceded.
It could be 5-0.
Yeah, it could be very easily. But you look at the goals conceded. You know, I think it's the Humphreys has to stick with Adams for the first goal. The second goal's offside, and then he's pulled off probably 4 absolutely near enough world-class saves. You know, that one there, excellent save with his foot when Armstrong's only 1.5 metres away from him, hits it with pace, trying to put it between his legs. You know, he's been outstanding today, but the rest of them need to bring those levels up as well. Defensively, take responsibility.
Southampton leading 2-0 and looking for more here. Coming forward with Fraser down the left-hand side, but he checks back in field, and here is Harwood Bellis, and both Harwood Bellis and Bednarek have been under no pressure at all. Now it's clipped wide by Adams towards Smallbone in space down the right. Low cross into the near post, looking for Adam Armstrong, but it just breaks off his body. Back out towards Smallbone again down the right. Support from Walker-Peters. Harwood Bellis is now forward in the attack. He retreats as Smallbone brings it forward once again. And Southampton's mastery of the ball has been almost total in the opening 33 minutes of this game. Adam Armstrong again finding Stuart Armstrong. And it's back towards Ryan Manning, who is another Southampton player enjoying his return to this stadium today. Smallbone in behind for Walker-Peters, in space down the right-hand side. Fulton didn't know where he is, and eventually it's cleared away by Fulton as the cross from Walker-Peters was poor. But it will come straight back because Swansea clear, and Jamal Lowe is on his own, heavily outnumbered.
Yeah, it's a difficult job for Jamal Lowe. I think Walker-Peters, I thought the cross was poor. Anyway, I think when you've got that much space and time, you have to then deliver it when you've got 4 or 5 Southampton shots in the box.
Stuart Armstrong now inside the penalty area, finding Adam Armstrong. It's square towards Smallbone. looking for his second goal, but it's poked into the penalty area. Bashir Humphreys will clear the ball away. Patterson beaten to it in the air by Bednarek. And here is Walker-Peters again, down the right-hand side. At times, it's almost been like a training game here for Southampton.
It's difficult, though. You know what Jamie Patterson's trying to do when that ball comes up? He's just trying to kill the game, try and win a free kick. But Bednarek had all the hands. It was trying to con the referee a little bit, Patterson there, but it wasn't the case. Very much completely in control, Southampton. I mean, look at them, like small. Even the fans are olaying now every pass.
Every outfield player there was 25 yards from the Swansea City goal.
What do you want, though, Nigel, when Southampton are being as dominant as this? Players do have to take responsibility, weather the storm a little bit, and then, but they have to be better in possession. That's why.
But how often do you see that in a championship game?
No, I understand. It just shows you how dominant Southampton have been and how amazing they've been with the ball.
Well, Russell Martin finished 15th and 10th with Swansea, only 3 points off the playoffs last season, as Flynn Downs brings it forward again, wide towards Manning, down the left-hand side. Fraser in support, Fraser to the byline, crosses into the penalty area, headed away by Wood, played back wide towards Stuart Armstrong, and now Walker-Peters down the right-hand side. Adams in support, drives in the low cross, but it's blocked by Humphreys at the near post, and it will be a throw-in. And with more precision here, Southampton could have absolutely filled their boots in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. Just the quality in the box, taking the control down. Che Adams doing the little overlap there, the weight of pass to him. I think Adams has to do better with the ball, pick someone out. He just went power, trying to put it across the face of goal. He has 3 options at the penalty spot he can cut it back to. That's how dominant they're being. They're trying the hardest thing, because they're enjoying this game of football at the minute, Nigel.
Walker-Peters plays it back towards Bednarek, midway inside the Swansea half. 36 minutes played on Talksport 2. Swansea 0, Southampton 2. On a grey afternoon in southwest Wales, which is getting ever gloomier for the home side. They're not just losing, they are being comprehensively outplayed here by a Southampton team right at the top of their game. Timon plays it forward now. Arsenal lead by 2-0 against Crystal Palace in the Premier League over on Talksport. And looking at the Palace team, maybe that's no surprise. Adam Armstrong coming forward now for Southampton again, pulls it back towards Adams inside the penalty. Right foot shot from him is deflected back out towards Adam Armstrong, who pulls it across again, and eventually it is deflected behind by Humphreys for a corner.
Just look at the look that Ryan Fraser's giving Che Adams at the minute. How can he not give him it? He's basically on the penalty spot, and he just needs a little reverse pass. Again, that front three's causing all sorts of problems. A little bit fortunate it goes to Che Adams there, but Ryan Fraser on 3 occasions is basically shouting in the look of disgust that he gave Che Adams. That's outstanding. But again, Che Adams will know exactly if it's the other way about. He's doing the exact same.
Gabriel with his second for the Gunners, leading 2-0 over on Talksport. Southampton looking for a third here on Talksport 2. Manning with the corner, high towards the far post. It's headed up in the air by Harwood Bellis. Lowe will nod the ball clear. Patterson beaten to it, though, by Walker-Peters. Harwood Bellis with an excellent ball wide towards Manning down the right-hand side. Slipped into the penalty area here for Smallbone. And the cross low into the penalty area, deflected into the side netting by Cullen. Could have gone anywhere, almost an own goal, but it's a corner for Saints.
Do you remember when people used to talk about Arsenal back in the day, when they get into those positions? Never did they just fire it blindly across the face with power, trying to just... They always look at the head up and look at a player. I don't understand. There's been 3 opportunities. Adam Armstrong, Che Adams and Smallbone now. I don't understand why they're just trying to fire it at as close as they can to the closest defender. They've got options just to cut it back.
Manning drifting in the corner, high to the far post, nodded down by Bednarek, looking for Adams, but Swansea will clear. And here is Darling on the far side. Comes in field, and Patterson was making the run over the halfway line unmarked, but Darling instead finds Timon. Patterson has held his position and is onside on this near side. Cullen ahead of him, but Patterson comes in field, and it's won back by Ryan Manning, who was in retreat there on the wrong side of the field as far as he's concerned. And here is Timon again. And we have 6 minutes to play in what's been a torrid first half for the home side. Southampton leading 2-0.
Yeah, I was going to say to you a little bit earlier, just a couple of minutes ago, Matt Grimes got on the ball, and he is the one that makes Swansea tick, isn't he? He was driving forward. Who was it that just went boom, put the shoulder on him? Flynn Downs came out of nowhere, strong challenge, took possession of the ball and says, you know what, you're not getting the better of me in this game today. And the understanding relationship that that they had was excellent.
Timon plays it down the line on this near side, but it's blocked by Stuart Armstrong, and it will be a throw-in for Swansea. And they're just looking for maybe the light relief here of a half-time team talk from Luke Williams, although I would imagine he may be in a position where, what can he say?
Well, I'm sitting thinking, what would I do tactically to try, and it's they tried to go high. I think Southampton with the ball were excellent. I just think you have to be better in possession. Excellent play down right-hand side.
Ashby now with a high cross into the penalty area. Bazunu has lost it. Adams tries to play the ball back towards goal, and it's headed in, and Swansea suddenly are back in the game. And what on earth was Gavin Bazunu doing there? He came flying out to try and win the cross. He clattered into Jamal Lowe, who was still injured. Swansea recycled possession, and Jamie Patterson was there to head the ball in. And having been comprehensively outplayed, Swansea have now trimmed Southampton's lead to 2-1.
Well, it's a great time to score, but look at this. I'm thinking Jamal Lowe used the hand here, and he's a little bit play acting here. If anything, he's offside anyway. With his left foot, but I need to see this play out because I felt he used his hand. He did, he punched it, and that should be seen. That goal should be cut off again because, yeah, it's been kept alive, it's been floated back in, but he's only play acting here for the fact that he's punched it with his hand.
But what on earth was Bazunu doing coming out for that cross in the first place?
Bazunu come out, if Lowe doesn't use his hand, he's getting the ball, but there is a connection with Bazunu's legs and Jamal Lowe, so this might be a sore one, but it's definitely a handball, and it definitely should be a free kick.
It struck him on the upper arm, it looped wide to the far side, and Cullen, we're just watching a replay here inside the stadium, Cullen almost dabbed it back into the 6-yard area, and Patterson was there to rise and plant in the header. Swansea's first effort on target. Adams looks perplexed, the Southampton player. Jamal Lowe is down receiving treatment. Russell Martin was absolutely furious there, and he's talking to Sam Allison, the fourth official, saying, look, that was handball. I think the Southampton bench saw it before anyone else did, and I think words were exchanged there, possibly between the two technical areas as well, but how on earth are Swansea back in this game?
Oh, this is football, isn't it?
It's the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You put quality in, offside as well. If you put the ball,
they would say that cancels out the Southampton second goal, which was also offside.
Yeah, I understand that, but then the handball app that follows it. You know, you asked me only a few minutes ago, what is Luke Williams going to be saying?
Back in the game,
it makes that conversation a lot easier with a little bit of quality, with good energy down the right hand side. Excellent bit of play, I have to say, by Ashby down that right hand side. Good end product, good quality ball in the box. You've got willing runners on the end of it as well, keeping it alive. That's what you have to do. It doesn't have to be all possession. Possession, what is it, 73 in Southampton's favour, and they're still very much in the game. So game on.
Well, Jamal Lowe, who is a former Portsmouth player, that's not been forgotten by the Southampton fans behind that goal, is back on his feet, and he's hobbling across towards this near side. Well, Southampton with 70% possession, 15 shots, 9 of those on target. Swansea with their first effort on target there, and they've scored, and it's now 2-1, and it could be a very different second half.
Well, you say that, you look at how dominant Southampton have been. You know, I think if anything, Russell Martin just reiterates, look, if you switch off 1v1 scenarios, I'm just trying to think, was it Manning, I think it was, or no, it wasn't Bednarek, so Manning, who had a little bit of quality with Ashby, was outdone. You can be punished. You switch off one little lapse of concentration, you can be, like you say, back in the game. But Southampton have been that dominant. I can't see anything changing.
Well, Jamal Lowe has hobbled around towards this near side. I wonder if he's going to come back on here. Sam Allison, the fourth official, has the paper out for a potential change, but now he hobbles back on. They'll maybe try and patch him up during half-time, but, well, that is the championship in a nutshell. A team is so on top against a team who were offering absolutely nothing, and now it's a very different game. No, well, this is it. You know, I came here with a very, very good Burnley side. Swansea, I think it was Martinez, and we never touched the ball. We were 1-0 down after 27 minutes. Brian Laws just went, go man for man. Let's force them to kick it, and then we will win second balls, and we then bullied them for the next part of the... This is football. You know, can this change, give that Swansea side a little bit of confidence to be a little bit braver in possession? That's what Luke Williams will be hoping for the Swansea side. Now an opportunity for Ryan Fraser to bring it forward again in towards Stuart Armstrong. And now the shot is fired in and it's deflected, but it's a brilliant goal in the end. Flynn Downs will claim it against his former club. He refuses to celebrate, but it's not taken Southampton long to re-establish their 2-goal lead. Flynn Downs hammering the ball in, real power. It maybe took a deflection on the way through, but Swansea City's reprieve turned out to be very, very brief. It's Swansea 1, Southampton 3.
Well, you talk about reactions, there you go. What a reaction that is. Flynn Downs, who I think has been outstanding today. You know, you give him time, takes a shot, yeah, it takes a little deflection off, I think it's Humphreys there. Or I think it was even Jamal Lowe, actually. So there you go, off the thigh, the left thigh of Jamal Lowe and into the bottom right-hand corner. Rushworth, who I think has been outstanding today, is spread. Probably the deflection just takes it that wee little bit away from him there. So again, it's that's just part and parcel. It just shows you what teams with confidence and real quality concede that disappointment, get back to business.
And we are into a minimum of 5 more minutes at the end of the first half here on Talksport 2. Swansea 1, Southampton 3. And we have a scoreline more reflective once again of the way the game has gone. Well, Luke Williams, Notts County team, scored plenty of goals and conceded almost as many in League Two so far this season, and maybe the Swansea fans should get strapped in for another roller coaster ride here in the Championship. Well,
I hate the terminology free hit, Nigel, but surely today's a free hit against a Southampton team that's on form. It's a long-term appointment. Luke Williams coming in with the way that his beliefs in football, with the players that he's got. Maybe the players can't really play the way that he wants. That's going to be, I guess, the telling thing in 2-3 transfer windows.
Well, now Walker Peters has been taken down by Fulton, and Fulton, I think, got away with one earlier, but he won't do this time. It's a yellow card.
Yeah, and it's understandable, you know. Fulton frustrated, not seeing a lot of the ball. I think he's trying to kind of put the challenges in. It's a genuine attempt for the ball, but Kyle Walker-Peters just manipulates it and puts his body in between ball and man. But the referee's spot on to show the card. I understand why Fulton's doing it. He's trying to get a lift and a tackle, a challenge, a shot. Can just kind of get that lift from the players as well as the fans.
Well, Flynn Downs, 25 years of old today, so that's some birthday present for him. And his last goal came for Swansea over 2 years ago, so he's had a long wait. Now Adam Armstrong, excellent ball into the penalty area for Stuart Armstrong, but his first touch was just a bit heavy and it bobbles behind for a goal kick. But the runs off the ball here from Southampton is something that Swansea just can't cope with.
Well, I know that you'd have took that first time with the quality of that ball from Adam Armstrong there. I'm surprised at Stuart Armstrong. He's arriving at the right time. I know he's going with pace, but the ball is that good that he can just take it first time, just steer it goalwards.
I would have taken it first time because my second touch is always a tackle.
Me too. I'd have dived with it at the head.
You'd have certainly taken it first time, having seen how you play. We're 3 minutes into added time at the end of the first half here. 3-1 to Southampton. And Swansea back in the game, but only very briefly. And Jamal Lowe, who had a key role in that goal back, then deflecting in the third, scored by Flynn Downs. And Swansea in retreat once again, but Ashby does well to win it back, but then he's been caught by Stuart Armstrong, and it will be a free kick for the home side. So of course Southampton moving above Ipswich on goal difference into second place before Ipswich play Leicester live on Talksport 2 on Monday evening. And we have so many big games from the Championship still to come this weekend. Norwich against West Brom coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and Leeds against Preston 12 noon tomorrow. As it's played wide towards Adam Armstrong again, down the Southampton left-hand side. He waits for Fraser on the overlap. Manning finding Fraser, who checks his run to stay onside. Stuart Armstrong again, picking out Manning inside the box, but his cross was overhit towards the far post, and it's gone behind for a goal kick, and that should be almost the final action of the first half.
Yeah, it's excellent play again, isn't it? Real understanding Fraser, Armstrong, Che Adams. Manning underlap there, found himself the more advanced player there. Knows that there's players behind him, just moves the ball and just fires it across the face of the goal. Gets too much on it because Che Adams was running across the front. If you're just playing that across the face along the floor, Che Adams, that's probably number 4 as well. But just that final little bit of quality wasn't on that cross there.
Well, they often say that stats don't really tell the story, but they do today. Southampton, 70% possession, 16 shots, 10 on target, leading here by 3-1. And they would also argue that the goal that Swansea scored shouldn't have stood, but Swansea could also argue that the second goal for Southampton shouldn't have stood either. So maybe things have cancelled each other out in a VAR-less environment, as it's given away very cheaply by Saints. Here is Cullen now, midway inside the Southampton half for Swansea. Does well to ride the challenge and find Fulton. Now Grimes, wide to this near side, the left, and Timon. Timon, though, has been challenged by Adam Armstrong, but it's a foul by the Southampton man, and it will be a free kick here for Swansea in a decent area. And we are beyond the 5 minutes initially allotted here.
Well, I'm looking at this, the challenge, it's not a free kick. I just looked down at Russell Martin and the look, and he's mumbled something with the 4th official. Armstrong got the ball, all ball there. And it was a fair challenge, but this is an opportunity now that Swansea can put the ball right on the money. They've got good, aggressive players in there that can go and challenge, and that's what it's all about. Imagine it taking it in at half-time, 2-3.
Surely the final action of the first half here at the Swansea.com stadium. Grimes with the free kick into a dangerous area. Headed away well, though, by Bednarek. And there goes the half-time whistle. And Southampton comprehensively on top for so much of the first half. 2 early goals scored by Che Adams and Will Smallbone inside the opening 21 minutes. There should have been more. Jamie Patterson giving Swansea hope close to half-time, but that was quickly extinguished by Flynn Downs on his birthday to make it 3-1. Southampton have been far and away the better side in every single department so far, but Swansea City know that they must improve greatly. Otherwise, it could be another hammering against the Saints in the space of a month. Half-time here at the Swansea.com stadium. Swansea City 1, Southampton 3.
Thank you very much, Nigel Adderley. Chris, that was a fascinating, entertaining 45 minutes of football, but hold your heads in shame in terms of your defence at Swansea City. It was appalling at times.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for, Luke Williams comes in, he's telling his players that he wants them to be brave, composed in possession. That high line, I think, would have been, it's very, very vital to the way, if you want to try and stop Southampton playing, trying to force the error, win the ball in the attacking area, rather than allow Southampton to play through you, and then you're defending for your lives, but when you've got the likes of Fraser and Armstrong coming in from the flanks, and there's not really pressure on the likes of a Downs or Harwood Bellis with the quality they've got with their distribution, it's going to cause you all sorts of problems, and it did. They rode their luck for a little, for a few of those early opportunities, but then, wow, it's the best I have seen Southampton play. I think they've been outstanding with and without the ball. I think Russell Martin, the time in the grass, the confidence, this unbeaten run, it's all just coming and it's all just clicking. Wow. The outstanding performance,
particularly down that left-hand side, and Ryan Fraser. But the Swansea defenders just aren't picking up the runners at all. That first goal was Che Adams. He started the move in the first place, drifted into the box, got behind his defender Humphreys, who, by the way, is only 20 years old, so you can't put too much blame on it. But
yes, you can.
Have to.
You have to.
Okay. You're the former footballer. You go. I'm always a little bit I don't want to put too much pressure on them at the age of 20, but that's his job. Yeah,
you're spot on, Faye. You're spot on. Che Adams, he gets that ball very central, probably 30, 35 yards from goal, goes out to that left-hand side. Ryan Fraser comes in, opens it up onto his right and gets the shot away. It's an excellent save from Rushforth, but Che Adams started the move and then goes and finishes it. So someone has to take responsibility there, and Humphreys, he's kind of waiting, anticipate as a defender. You have to be there first and clear. And if Rushforth holds it or parries it away, then so be it. But you have to be there. If Che Adams can be there, the defensive player has to take responsibility and be there as well. But I think down both sides, Kyle Walker-Peters and Manning are causing all sorts of problems as well. Just it makes it so difficult. And like you say, Swansea have been trying to play high, not taking responsibility of the late run or the third man run. Stuart Armstrong has caused all sorts of problems running from deep. Someone has to take responsibility. So that player that he's on, the holding midfielder, has to go all the way. It's not all about passing on players. You go all the way with your man, and I just don't understand why. Because as soon as they let that man go, then straight away that defensive unit of three are up against three, and with the movement of the front 5-6 of Southampton today, it is so difficult.
Well, they look like they've been put in a tumble dryer and walked out, and they've got no idea where they're turning. They can't see anybody. But actually, 4 goals in that first half, 2 of them shouldn't have stood.
No, I shouldn't have. I couldn't believe it. I seen it straight away with Stuart Armstrong. I'm trying to, from the angle that we get on the VT. I'm sitting thinking, oh yeah, you can see by the cut of the grass as well that he's off. I can't see the linesman being obstructed. That flag has to go up, and it's all with a little reverse pass of Fraser, and then obviously the Swansea goal. Jamal Lowe uses his hand. I think he's offside anyway, but that's a very tight call. But he definitely uses his hand. Yeah, Bazzuno takes him with the feet, and then so if those 2 goals were disallowed, it wouldn't be any surprise to me. I know we're saying it's a VAR friendly zone, but if VAR's here, both those goals would hopefully be disallowed.
Well, this is what's frustrating, isn't it? Because you can see that we get a brilliant open game of football without VAR, but when you're getting towards the kind of end of the season, where promotion for some teams, with Southampton pushing for promotion, Swansea getting themselves back in at 2-1, this kind of thing can turn a game, and you almost don't want to see it from that point of view. But anyway, it's been a pulsating first half of football. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Go get yourself warm. I know it's sunny but chilly over in Wales at the moment. Over on Talksport right now at half-time, it's Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. Gabriel with 2 goals, an 11th minute header. He looked like a salmon, by the way, for this one. It almost was like someone had a winch on him at a theatre. He rose that high. Then the second, he came charging through on goal and got behind Chris Richards and headed in right on the line again. So Mikel Arteta's side 2 goals to the good. In South Wales, though, it's controversially maybe Swansea 1, Southampton 3. Second half commentary to come. Plus, we'll preview our 3 o'clock kickoff of Norwich City against West Brom next here on Talksport 2. And by the way, this Thursday, the 25th of January, England's cricketers begin a 5-test series against India, and every ball is going to be live here on Talksport 2. The whole tour, including over 200 hours of live ad-free cricket coverage, is going to be broadcast from 4 a.m. to midday UK time on Talksport 2, with selected cricket available on Talksport as well. It's going to be such a sensational tour.
So there's 2 titans of the modern era head-to-head here. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, I would think. And there it is! Oh, Jimmy Anderson!
For every team around the world, whether that's Australia, England, anyone, this is one of the toughest assignments you can have.
Here is Ashwin again. Bowled him!
Derrat off the back foot. Oh my goodness, that is going away at a rate of knots.
Ashwin down the wicket comes Stokes, and that's how to go downtown.
That is a wonderful stroke to complete a wonderful maiden century. Ollie Pope.
You don't want to go off and put the kettle on here, do you? You're going to miss something.
Never go off and put the kettle on when the cricket's on, or the football, to be honest, across the Talksport network. The first test live from Hyderabad begins at 4 a.m. on Talksport 2 with our top team led by our cricket editor John Norman. Don't forget the Following On podcast, which will feature exclusive player content as well as behind-the-scenes access published every day of the tour. And there'll also be daily cricket content uploaded to our new Talksport Cricket YouTube page as well. So don't forget, India against England live on Talksport 2 beginning on Thursday.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League. EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. How's this for a mouth-watering match? The steakhouse stack with creamy peppercorn sauce. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points delivered too. 18 plus. Rewards account required. Participating restaurants. Subject to availability. Delivery fees and terms apply.
Hola! Einstein here. Just out tucking into tackles and the best business advice with my friend Deborah Meaden.
Because much like a recipe, in business you've got to get the basics right.
Indeed, and a smart meter can help you track your energy use and costs over time. Oh, I think I miscalculated the hot sauce.
So that's more control of your business budgeting, at least.
Search Get a Smart Meter for Business today. Eligibility may vary. Consumer action required.
Morrison's Morecard exclusives are your ticket to big savings on big brands. Grab a pack of Pampers Essential Pants for £5 and earn 500 points when you scan or swipe your Morecard. More savings on hopefully less accidents.
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
Majority of stores and online. Max 5 packs per customer. Without Morecard, £6. Ends 28th of Jan.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £100 off per couple. So escape to sunny favourites like Greece, Portugal and Italy. And spread the cost with flexible monthly payments. Book now with just a £60 deposit per person. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. National protected. Subject to availability and conditions.
Dive into the NFL playoffs with 888 Sport, official partner of the NFL. Because it's made for big games. It's made for a wild card.
Didn't see that coming.
It's made for game-changing plays.
What a catch. And with Bet Builder Blitz from 888 Sport during the playoffs, get your money back as a free bet up to £10 if your Bet Builder loses. Available every game day throughout the playoffs.
888 Sport, official partner of the NFL.
888 Sport.
18 plus. Minimum odds apply for full terms and conditions on this promotion. Visit 888sport.com. BeGambleAware.org.
It's the totally immersive football experience.
Tucked into the near post. EFL Game Day Live
on Talksport 2.
Comes back to Rowe, it's squeezed in, it's under the goalkeeper, it's a second for John Rowe, and Norwich have turned the game around.
Here's Hernandez, edge of the penalty area now, 3-4 shots in the middle, great cross, takes a flick and takes a deflection, and Norwich City wrap up the points.
Probably what the Norwich fans wanted to see, and they might fancy their chances because it's so congested in there.
Thomas Asante onto Diangana inside the box, must shoot, must score, he does, off the inside of the post.
We've seen a team now 100% behind this very, very good coach.
I mean, what more could you want from a championship game?
Oh, the championship, every single game brings some drama, doesn't it? This is EFL Live on Talksport 2. Our 12:30 commentary is Swansea 1, Southampton 3. Second half coming up at the Swansea.com stadium very, very shortly. I'm Faye Carruthers with you this afternoon. At 3 o'clock, we're going to be bringing you exclusive commentary of Norwich City against West Brom, and we're joined by our commentators to look ahead to the game. Ian Danter and former Norwich City striker Dean Ashton are with me. How are you both?
Good, thanks, Faye. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Both of these teams in great form. I mean, the Championship is always exciting, but it feels like we always have the kind of top-of-the-table playoff kind of games here on TalkSport 2, which is fantastic. And Norwich are actually only 2 points outside of the playoff places and starting to get on a bit of a run at the minute, Dean.
Slight improvement, I just think, defensively, really, more than anything, Faye. I think they've struggled going forwards in recent weeks anyway. And they've definitely gone back to a more defensive shape. They've dropped back into their own half a lot more than I'd seen previously in the first part of the season. So I think defensively he's trying to shore things up and give his team a chance, because they have shown that they are capable of creating chances and scoring goals, but that defence needed to change, needed to improve, and it's a big reason why Kenny McLean's gone back in there.
Yeah, it's really important, isn't it? Because, as you say, goals are coming thick and fast. John Rowe having a particularly good season for Norwich. But these two played each other 3 weeks ago, Dance, didn't they? West Brom 1-0 winners on Boxing Day at the Hawthorns. They're fifth, and it feels as if they're pretty comfortable in the playoff spots.
Seems to be they've been fifth for quite a while this season, Faye. Been very sort of settled. They've never really had that run of form that gets them closer to the top two, but they've never really been in danger of losing their top six position. A lot of clean sheets, the most in the Championship. They've kept 12. No other team can boast that record. So it is built on the solidity they've got at the back, and that's credit to Cedric Kipre along with Carl Bartley. It's really interesting how those two have dovetailed well. Semi Ajayi, who many thought was West Brom's best defender, can't get a look in these days. They've signed Andreas Weimann on loan from Bristol City. I'd be very intrigued, Faye, to see whether he goes straight into the starting lineup today. That's one we can look for when the team news comes out in half an hour's time. But I don't know what Dean thinks, but I'm mightily impressed with the job that Carlos Corberán is doing. He's not exactly one of the haves in terms of financial resources in the Championship, but with a small squad, he's getting really good results.
I'm amazed, actually, just how under the radar West Brom have gone. Maybe it is the style isn't exactly magical. Obviously they're based on a defensive shape and a defensive style at times, but actually recently they've improved going forwards. Injured players coming back, I think, is important for them, but with the squad that he's had and the sort of uncertainty surrounding the club and the fan base, I think he's done an unbelievable job to properly cement them in the playoffs now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm very much looking forward to this one, and I'm looking forward to going a little bit more in depth with you both at 2:30 when this game finishes at the Swansea.com stadium. So I'll leave you to finish off your prep, and I'll speak to you both very shortly, because we're about to get back underway at the Swansea.com stadium with the home side trailing by 3-1. What are we going to look for, Chris Uwelemo, in terms of the second half? I mean, certainly Luke Williams is going to have spoken to his team about shoring up that shaky defence.
Yeah, I think players just have to take a little bit more responsibility and positioning, taking your man, following the runner all the way, and then have to be better and braver in possession of the ball. And I think that's where the biggest letdown. You have to defend when you're out of possession. So keep the ball. Yep. Make sure that you're brave. Make sure that you're. And I just feel that Matty Grimes he's trying to kind of play that hard pass or do the extra. Just keep the ball moving all the time. Make it very, very difficult, albeit I think Southampton are very good without the ball. They kind of set those little traps and they're on you. That front four, front five is very, very good. But then when you get the ball into good wide areas, you've got energy and bodies in the box getting on the end of any service it's been going in. I think it's a very easy conversation for Russell Martin to have with his players. I think very much just the same. Be very, very dominant. They've been very, very good. And I think just take the chances when you're in the 6-yard box. Pick someone out. They're just trying to fire the ball across the face of goal at the minute, and it's been cut out or blocked more often than not. So yeah, they've got 4 or 5 options every time in those situations. So it's like, pick your head up, play the ball back, cut it back, just pick someone out, and you're gonna get more opportunities. And to be fair, they were very, very good in that first half. Yeah, they were. I feel like you needed to be in the dressing room there, Chris. At one point, I interrupted you because I thought you'd finished. You were like, just get off the ball, get on the ball. I was like, okay, I'll tell them. Anyway, the players are on their way back out for this second half. Let's get back to South Wales with the score. Swansea 1, Southampton 3. What's this second half going to bring? Let's find out with Chris Uwelemo and Nigel Adderley.
Thank you, Faye. No changes to either side made at half-time. So the two teams once again, Rushworth in goal for Swansea, Darling, Wood and Humphreys the back three, Ashby and Timon the wing-backs, Fulton and Grimes at the heart of midfield, with Patterson and Cullen supporting Lowe in attack. The Southampton team, Bazunu in goal, Walker-Peters, Harwood-Bellis, Bednarek and Manning, Smallbone, Downs and Stuart Armstrong, Adam Armstrong, Adams and Fraser in attack for them. Swansea get the second half underway wearing all white, trailing by 3-1. The Saints heading into the top two as it stands, wearing black shirts and grey shorts, and they will look to add more goals, because goal difference could end up being a key factor at the end of the season. There's a low cross into the penalty area for Swansea from their left-hand side from Timon. It's cut out by Harwood-Bellis, and the Saints will try and counter-attack again, and they broke on Swansea on so many occasions in the first half. That's something Luke Williams will have had to address at half-time. Yeah, I think it's something that he would have definitely spoken about. I think just the defensive line, you've got runners from Adam Armstrong and Fraser coming in from wide and then just arcing the run and getting in behind, but if there's no pressure on the likes of Smallbone and Harwood-Bellis, then you can't play such a high line. So yeah, I understand the body shape if you're opening up your shoulders and you're ready to run back defensively, but when that offensive player's got the run on you, it's always going to be a difficult one when the passes are that accurate. So I think that's something that they have to be aware of, but just be better in possession. Put Southampton on the back foot and don't be playing like Humphreys is at this moment. And of course, Luke Williams replaced Michael Duff, who won only 6 of his 21 games in charge, and he tried to change the Swansea style of play, and they've gone back to Something which the fans may appreciate here as Patterson comes forward for them, picks his way into the penalty area, curls in the shot right-footed, and it's just wide. And the scorer of Swansea's goal there, not too far away from a second.
Yeah, much better from Swansea, and it all came from Matt Grimes. That big switch of play out to Timon, it was. Then they kept the ball. The ball's been played down to Patterson in the box. He got a little bit fortunate, but then cut it onto his right, opened up the goal. He'll be disappointed he hasn't found that back corner. But it's a much better start from Swansea, and I'm talking about in possession of the ball, using it very well. Accuracy of the passes, touch, movement, it's all been spot on at the minute.
47 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Swansea 1, Southampton 3. Swansea 2 goals down after 21 minutes, a goal back before half-time, which was quickly cancelled out by their former player Flynn Downs on his 25th birthday. And now Stuart Armstrong has lost out in possession midway inside his own half. Jamal Lowe with a cross into the penalty area, and it was into that corridor of uncertainty on the edge of the 6-yard area, and it's sliced away by Harwood Bellis, and Manning will bring the ball forward now for Southampton. Smallbone now inside the centre circle, wide towards this near side, and Fraser will look to take on a backtracking Darling. Low cross from him in towards the far post, and maybe Rushworth just got a touch on that to carry the ball away from Adams, who looks certain to make it 4-1.
Well, again, Rushworth, right decision, right time, good hand to it. If he doesn't touch it, it's Che Adams just poking it in again at the back post area. That little earlier chance as well. It's a great ball from Fraser as well there, in between the last defender and goalkeeper. Always a hard one for either to defend, but the keeper made the right decision there.
Southampton have now scored 41 goals in this current run, which, if it stays as it is, will be 20 games unbeaten in the Championship, which will equal a club record as a Football League club, and they're closing in on their all-time club record from their Southern League days, as Ashby chases a long ball forward here, but Hristo Karavanov, the assistant on this near side, lifts the flag. He looked to be miles offside, and the flag is now eventually raised.
Yeah, he was offside because Manning knew exactly where he was, what he was trying to do, stepped up because he's looking right across the line. It was excellent defending by Manning there. I don't mind the movement from Ashby, but he doesn't really need it. I think that's a good running race as well between the two of them, I have to say.
And it was just the fingertips of Rushworth there which denied Adams his second and Southampton's fourth, because he just carried the ball behind Adams' run, who looked certain to tap into an empty net, as he did in the opening minutes of this game, to give Southampton the lead. But this is a Southampton side which have so much depth and quality, even on the bench today, but Swansea are in a very different place, and they always have been, really, since they were relegated. They've been a team to develop their assets and then very quickly sell them on. As Walker-Peters comes forward now for Southampton on their far side, the right, and he's got support from Adam Armstrong, who, as a wide player, has 14 goals and 11 assists so far this season. Back in the Championship, and he's found goals far easier to come by than he did in the Premier League. Now Downs with an excellent ball wide to this near side for Southampton, and Fraser, who gathers pace into the penalty area, pulls it back to Manning, who curls in the shot, and it pings off the head of Wood high into the air and behind for a corner.
That would really concern me. I think Downs had excellent distribution, but Fraser, how many times has he had one-on-one scenarios? He just hugs the line, doesn't he? As soon as it comes out, he's so direct at his man, and he manipulates the ball, either fires it across, gets his that angle to get his shot away, and at that moment in time just cut it back for Manning. That's a concern for me. So you've got to think at that side, Swansea, they need to maybe double up on him.
Corner's played short to Stuart Armstrong. It's high to the far post, and it almost seemed to catch the goalkeeper out for a second, but Rushworth just readjusted his feet, shuffled across to his left, and gathered the ball underneath his crossbar. But Swansea have been brighter at the start of the second half, but it's all relative after what was a fairly dreadful first half from them. 51 minutes played, and Southampton still leading here by 3 goals to 1.
Well, they've definitely been better. I think Swansea, I don't know if that's down to Southampton just kind of dropped off a little bit. The kind of the pace of the pass and the movement isn't quite there. But if you look at the setup of Swansea, really like that front five, front six is really making it difficult for Southampton to get any joy. Whereas I just felt that it was just a half a yard too slow or too wide, and Southampton was capitalising and exposing Swansea in that first half.
And Flynn Downs, who scored the Saints' third goal here today, on loan from Southampton, or West Ham I should say, in the Southampton midfield, one of a number of players Swansea have sold on to the Premier League in recent years. Dan James, Joe Rodon, Ollie McBurney, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Alfie Mawson, Connor Roberts and Joel Piroux, of course, signed by Leeds in the Championship after scoring so many goals for Russell Martin in the last couple of seasons. And it's difficult for a manager to build a squad here, but that is the policy that the American owners have instituted in recent years. Having fallen out of the Premier League, it is all about trying to generate money through player sales.
Yeah, I think that's the way it has to go, but I also believe that if Swansea are a genuine contender for going up, they throw everything at it and give the manager the support to bring in the right players to strengthen that quest.
And of course, Southampton did sell a number of big name players when they fell out of the Premier League themselves after 11 years in the top flight last season. And James Ward-Prowse heading a fairly healthy list of players who departed the club for decent fees. But crucially, Russell Martin has been able to reinvest some of those funds. Now Downs, wide towards Smallbone on the far side. And he also retained a core of players who have come out of the Premier League and really flourished in the Championship, and maybe gained a bit of confidence after what was such a difficult time, not just last season for Southampton, but for a number of years. As Bazunu now plays it wide towards Harwood Bellis on the far side.
So you're looking at Bazunu coming out at the minute, right? Okay, Swansea have been, I think, a lot better without the ball, really forcing it. So they've actually basically 4v4. Bazunu comes out, that 5, it runs 5v4 because he's that good with his feet as well, which is another responsibility and another demand that you want from your keepers as well now.
Now Flynn Downs looking to thread the eye of the needle. He almost found Will Smallbone inside the penalty area, but it was well read by Bashir Humphreys this time, and Swansea have been better at tracking the runners from midfield since half-time, but with 54 minutes played here on Talksport 2, they still trail 3-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bashir Humphreys, I think, 20 years old. I think there would have been a few words, obviously to encourage as well. He's good enough to be here, and you can see that he's switched all the time. Just look at his body movement, always on the half turn, that little bounce back, and I think he just needs communication all the time. And he'll get up to speed. Fantastic technical player, but has to be switched on. You switch off 1 minute, you get punished. Che Adams gets off the back of you and gets that first goal. Those are the small margins in the game today, Nigel.
And Russell Martin, the more animated of the two coaches at the moment. You can see him cajoling and showing the odd expression of exasperation as something doesn't quite come off. But he is definitely a coach in the Pep Guardiola mould. I'm not comparing him to him, because he's achieved very little in the game compared to him so far, but he's somebody who sets similar sorts of standards for his players.
Yeah, but he's only going to, if it brings success, it's a great ball in behind.
Here's another opportunity for Adam Armstrong down the right-hand side. He cuts back in field beyond time when the cross in, headed over his own crossbar by Humphreys for a corner, and that wasn't too far away from an own goal.
Well, it's a great little clip in behind. I think it was Harwood Bellis. Again, Adam Armstrong onto it, creates a little bit of quality, comes back in. I think Humphreys has to get a contact because Che Adams is right behind, and I'm happy with that. I think Rushworth come out, give him a little kind of high five because he has to make some sort of contact there, Humphreys.
And Ryan Manning gets warm applause from the Swansea fans on the far side, which is good to see. Had a very good spell here before following Russell Martin to Southampton. And he will take the corner kick, which will be an in-swinger on the far side. 56 minutes played on Talksport 2. 3-1 to the Saints. Manning with the corner, high into the penalty area, travels all the way through to Bednarek at the far post. He comes in field to find Walker-Peters. The space for the curler, it's deflected, and it loops onto the roof of the netting, and it will be another corner.
I just think it's excellent from Southampton. Bednarek keeping it alive, just waiting. I'm thinking he's just going to whip it in himself, but that way to pass into the path of Walker-Peters without breaking stride, and then it's a block. You know, he's got a lot to do, but we've seen them, haven't we? We've seen them just dip under the crossbar, nothing that the goalkeeper can do. So again, just keeping that pressure on. But Swansea are up to the task at the minute.
Leandro Trossard has given Arsenal a 3-goal lead against Crystal Palace over on Talksport. Manning with the corner here. A deeper one this time, high to the far post. Harwood Bellis was challenging, but Swansea will clear. It's hooked further away by Lowe, and it's kept in play by Cullen, who looks to feed the ball in field to Patterson, but it was blocked well by Walker-Peters, and Ashby will take a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, much better there. The ball comes to the edge of the box, Lowe with a little one over the top, and I've got to say Ashby alive to it. Takes it out wide. Patterson is breaking his neck centrally there, Nigel, and I think if Ashby could probably work his feet a little bit quicker and just get a better purchase on it, Patterson's in, because it's the Southampton defensive line is basically on the halfway line, and Patterson is running at them rather than running together.
57 minutes played. There will be a change for Southampton soon. Jack Stevens will be coming on. He's made only 2 starts since a calf injury in August when he began the season as Southampton's captain, and his absence from the team coincided with that drop-off in form in September initially, before Walker-Peters was able to establish a partnership alongside Harwood Bellis and Bednarek at the back. As a high ball is lofted wide by Patterson for Swansea on the far side, nodded away though by Bednarek, but it's quickly recovered by Darling. And now Lowe, wide to this near side. Here is Ashby for Swansea, finding Patterson, and Ashby again, and Patterson again down the right, looks to play the ball through towards Ashby, but it comes back to Patterson, and in the end the cross is charged down by Manning, and it will be a throw-in, and Southampton will make the change, and it's Taylor Harwood Bellis who is coming off, so a straight swap with Jack Stevens coming on.
Yeah, I'm looking at that there. How much better has Swansea been at winning second balls this second half? And it just keeps them on the front foot. It doesn't allow Southampton to step out and completely dominate with the ball, and they're not having to defend as much. They're actually, because they're switched on the front foot, picking up those second balls, and they've won the majority of them this second half. They're keeping that pressure on. Just the movement, everything about Swansea has been better.
And Taylor Harwood Bellis comes off, and Jack Stevens comes on, and there's a handshake between Martin and Harwood Bellis. There was no sign of an injury there, but Russell Martin, I think, offering clarification to the central defender as he goes off.
Well, I can tell you now, he won't be happy coming off in a game that he's probably enjoying. I think he's been not too bad, but again, it's an opportunity to give Stevens minutes in his legs in a game that he can be not comfortable in, but still, it's very competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, but there was no issue between the player and the coach as they came off. But as you can say, everyone wants to play in a game like this.
There should be an issue straight away for me. You should never want to come off, and the manager should understand when you take Harwood Bellis off that he's not going to be happy about it. Yeah, okay, just to give Stevens a minute, you've been excellent, whatever it is, but yeah, choose other centre-back. I don't give a damn. You know, it's just one of them.
An hour played here on Talksport 2 on a grey, damp day now in South Wales. Swansea 1, Southampton 3. As it was in the first half. Over on Talksport, Arsenal leading Crystal Palace by 3-0. Game Day Live with Adrian Durham coming up on Talksport at 2:30. Here on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock, Ian Danter and Dean Ashton will bring you Norwich against West Brom from the Championship. And tomorrow we have Leeds against Preston at noon, followed by Manchester City against Liverpool from the Women's Super League, which returns this weekend. That's at 2:30. And then a big double-header on Monday night. Brighton against Wolves on Talksport from the Premier League. Here from the Championship, the leaders Leicester against Ipswich on Talksport 2. And Ipswich will be displaced by Southampton in the top 2 if it stays like this for now. Fraser now. Tiny figure for Southampton on the left-hand side of midfield, but he's helped to pull the strings. Now Downs back towards Stevens again, and Stevens and Bednarek was the defensive partnership for Southampton at the start of the season. And I'm not too sure that Stevens will be behind Harwood Bellis in the pecking order for too long, but it does give the options for Russell Martin as Armstrong with a clever move on this near side to find space. On towards Fraser. Fraser with the cross low into the 6-yard area, seeking out Adams, and it's cleared away at the far post by Darling, and then a clash on this near side. Manning clattering into Ashby. Ashby may have picked up an arm injury as he fell into the advertising hoardings, and play will be halted for a moment.
Well, all that came from Stuart Armstrong again down this left-hand side. Excellent quality, just opened up, didn't he? The little weight of pass to Fraser was a little bit heavy, but Fraser got there, cut it back. Harry Darling, that's what it's all about. Taking responsibility, following your man, intercepting the pass, and that's something that was very lacking for Swansea in the first half.
62 minutes played. Southampton leading here by 3-1. Manning with the throw-in towards Adams, who looked to pick out Fraser, but it's hammered away long downfield once again, and Bednarek will go all the way back to Gavin Bazunu, who had very little to do in the first half, but then conceded a goal just before half-time, and Jamal Lowe, who was heavily involved in that goal, has now gone down, and it doesn't look as though he'll be able to continue, and Swansea will make a change.
Yeah, I just watched Jamal Lowe there. He was opening up, then he kind of just went. So I'm thinking it's just a hamstring there for me. He just, the way that he kind of seized up, but kind of slowed, not to a halt, but just kind of slowed it down. So maybe from that knock as well from Bazunu in the first half, maybe playing an issue. I think they are, they're talking with the knee, so it's definitely from that contact. But he definitely felt something go as he was pressing, and to be fair, I think he's been excellent second half. Very much isolated in the first half, Nigel, but I think he's always an outlet, putting pressure on the Southampton defenders, and to be fair, when the balls came up second half, the ball stuck, and he's allowed Swansea to kind of get up the pitch as well.
And two players who were relegated with Blackpool last season will be coming on for Swansea. Jerry Yates scored 14 goals in a struggling team. And Charlie Patino, on loan from Arsenal, had a spell at Bloomfield Road as well last season. He will also be coming on. In fact, there will be a triple change because Yannick Bolasie will be onto the field of play. And this will be his 8th appearance from the bench since signing as a free agent in November. Now 34 years of age. And he's where are they now, isn't he?
You know what you're going to get from Bolasie. You know, very energetic end product. You know, that trickery in the box as well, and just something to give the fans to kind of get the backsides off the seats as well.
Well, Liam Cullen has gone off to be replaced by Charlie Patino. Lowe will obviously come on for Jerry Yates, and it's Harrison Ashby, who is lacking match fitness, who was replaced by Yannick Bolasie. So there will be a change in formation here. You would imagine that Swansea will go back to the back four. It does seem that Harry Darling will now slot in as a right back, with Timon over on the left, Wood and Humphreys in the middle, with Bolasie ahead of Darling on this near side, the right.
No, well, you look at that. You know, that's good players coming on, good attacking threat. I feel it's when you look at the quality of depth, you can't have any arguments with
4-4-2 now.
Yeah.
With Patino alongside Yates in attack as Yates closes down the back pass to Bazunu, who clears downfield wide to the far side, taken well by Walker-Peters, but the challenge comes in very quickly from Patino, and it's won back well on the far side. And here is Humphreys again for Swansea, and Carl Rushworth, who without any question has been Swansea's player of the match so far, but for him, goodness knows what the scoreline would be. As it is, Southampton still lead by 3-1. Looking for more here. Adam Armstrong is around Rushworth. Can the goalkeeper recover? Well, the flag is up for offside. Armstrong puts the ball into the back of the net, and it doesn't matter anyway. And Adam Armstrong flagged offside, but once again the flag goes up belatedly, and as we saw in the Premier League last week, that can often have consequences, and he was miles offside. Put the flag up.
Yeah, miles offside, and this is something that I think that it's been in discussion. If it's as blatant as that, because that could be a coming together with Rushworth and Armstrong injuries. Put the flag up if it's as blatant, because we don't want to see these injuries. It's happened time and time again.
We'll get TV shortly from Carrow Road before our 3 o'clock commentary. Norwich against West Brom here on Talksport 2. 66 minutes played here. Swansea City 1, Southampton 3. So the Saints are moving into second place behind Leicester in the Championship as it stands. Leicester against Ipswich coming up on Monday night. Before then, tomorrow, it is Leeds against Preston, which should be a lively lunchtime from Ellen Road live on Talksport 2. Swansea are now flagged offside on the far side, so Southampton will have a free kick, and you're listening to Swansea against Southampton in the EFL Championship on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the McDonald's app and get tasty reward points. 18 plus, terms and conditions apply. As Adam Armstrong comes forward again for Southampton. On their right-hand side, cuts in field, high cross towards the far post. Fraser had time to size up the volley, and in the end hits it right-footed high over the top. Yes, an excellent opportunity as well for Fraser. Adam Armstrong, the two of them must just buzz off each other, because they're very, very similar players. They've got that eye for a pass, execute it. But Fraser there will be so disappointed because the ball was right on the money for him, and he could have took it on the half volley, which is the more difficult. I think with Fraser, he had so much time, he'd want to just come and take it on the full there. But that's a massive opportunity. Now Darling on this near side. He's been caught by Stuart Armstrong, and it will be a free kick for the home side. So let's get team news from Carrow Road. Our 3 o'clock game on Talksport 2 is Norwich against West Brom, and we say good afternoon to Ian Danter.
Good afternoon to you, Nigel. One change apiece here at Carrow Road. Norwich bring back Ben Gibson. Kenny McLean moves back into midfield. Marcelino Nunez is the player that misses out for Norwich. For West Brom, their one change. Tom Fellows is out ill. Jed Wallace returns to the West Brom midfield. Myself and Dean Ashton here with 3 o'clock commentary. Norwich City against West Bromwich Albion.
And Dance will have all the goals as they go in from elsewhere as well. A number of games have been postponed here today, and if you go to talksport.com, there will be all the details.
Yeah, Jerry, it's his found offside again. He just needs to get up to speed, because it's important moments. The ball's got to stick, but it can't be just giving Southampton possession of the ball again. So he just has to I know he wants to come on and affect the game in a positive way, but just that half yard, step up.
And don't forget, this week Talksport 2 brings you exclusive commentary of England's cricketers' tour of India. And the first of 5 tests begins on Thursday live from Hyderabad with every ball live on Talksport 2. You can download the app to listen, and you can also subscribe to the Talksport Cricket channel for more exclusive content from our outstanding team out in India. So Thursday for the cricket, live and exclusive. India against England should be a great series, live and exclusive on Talksport 2. 69 minutes played here at the Swansea.com stadium, and it's still Swansea 1, Southampton 3, and Swansea's very recent good run against the Swans looks set to continue. This will be 5 wins in 7 in this stadium, but just for once it won't be 1-0. There's Bednarek now, gathers on the far side, back towards Smallbone, and here is Stevens, and now Manning takes over, and Fraser again looks to clip it down the line for Stuart Armstrong, but it's blocked by Darling, and it will be a throw-in for the Saints, who overall have been pretty comfortable in the second half. Yeah, they have. I think it's just a professional performance. I don't think that energy's been there that they had the first half, but little moments and flashes of quality have put them right into dangerous positions, and they're not really capitalised. But I do think that is down to the improvement of Swansea this second half. Here is Fraser now with a cross high to the far post, claimed very well by Carl Rushworth. Under pressure inside that 6-yard area, and he made absolutely no mistake. Yeah, right decision again, isn't it? He doesn't come. And I have to say it's Smallbone's going to get an opportunity again then if Rushworth doesn't come. Good hands, good feet. Here is Timon now inside the penalty area. Pull back to Patino. Oh, it was a really good chance for Swansea. Timon did everything right. Patino 10 yards out, central area, and there was no conviction in the finish as it dribbled wide. Well, I've got to say, I think Patino
does not have to take it first time. He's got that much space, and he's only 10, 12 yards from goal. He can just open it up onto his right, left, whatever he wants. He doesn't have to take it first time. I think he's trying to catch the goalkeeper out there, but doesn't get the accuracy of his attempt on target. That's big moments. You put that in the back of the net with the way the second half is going, you're really putting Southampton on the back foot, and maybe a little bit more pressure on their players.
Well, at 3-2 with 20 minutes to play, it's a very different game. But now Southampton looking to make it 4-1 with Fraser on this near side. And there will be movement on the Southampton bench very soon. Sekou Mara is the player who has been waved back to the technical area. Stuart Armstrong now chasing a high ball forward, headed away by Wood, only as far as Fraser. And now Adams inside the penalty area, wide to the left-hand side. And Stuart Armstrong again, he drives in the cross. He was looking for the angle. A player went tumbling inside the area. It was Che Adams, and Oliver Langford, the referee, just gave himself a moment, and then a water corner kick.
Yeah, I'm looking at that in the box. I'm trying to think, is it Fulton? But it's a penalty kick.
It's a penalty kick.
Wow.
Looking at the replay here,
it's a clip of the foot, isn't it? There's no intent for the ball. The ball's long gone.
Once again, there is no VAR, so everybody gets on with it. And here today, things have tended to even themselves out. Armstrong with the corner kick high into the penalty area. Challenging was Bednarek, but it loops off the shoulder of Time and into the arms of Rushworth. He quickly bowls the ball out to the halfway line, and Patterson, he's got support from Balassi ahead of him. Balassi now controls, but he's offside, and that's criminal really when you are the furthest player forward looking along the line.
What I will say to his defence, the ball should have came from Patterson probably 2 seconds before. He took an extra touch, then Balassi's then coming back to try and pin his man. So that's, I understand it. Ball can come forward quicker. Balassi then has to get onside, come back. Maybe Patterson takes another touch to allow him to do so. So it's just a kind of misunderstanding there.
And don't forget, coming up next week on Talksport and the Talksport network, we will have both of the Carabao Cup semi-final second legs on Tuesday and Wednesday, and both are intriguingly poised. And across next weekend, we will have 8 commentaries from the 4th round of the FA Cup. If you download the TalkSport app, go to the live commentary section, and you will find all the details there. But that includes Spurs against Manchester City on Friday evening. I'm looking forward to the Black Country Derby, early start on Sunday. And of course, we'll be back in South Wales next Sunday as well for Newport against Manchester United as Swansea make a change. Jay Fulton quickly trots off behind the goal on the far side, and Joe Allen will come off the bench for the 8th time this season to replace him.
Well, there's no surprise that he's taken Jay Fulton off. He's on a yellow card. He's tripped Che Adams in the box. It should have been a blatant penalty, and probably another card for doing so. So yeah, Joe Allen coming on, which is not a bad replacement. Maybe not as mobile, but he's got that technical ability.
Sekou Mara replacing Che Adams, and there will be a Southampton debut here for Joe Rothwell on loan from Bournemouth, and he will replace Stuart Armstrong. And Russell Martin did say he will give Rothwell time to acclimatise to the way that Southampton try and play. Of course, Rothwell very familiar with the Championship following his time with Blackburn, and he has featured 11 times for Bournemouth in the Premier League this season, but surplus to requirements at the moment. And Swansea are at Bournemouth in the FA Cup, and their tie is played on Thursday, and their following league game is a toughie away to Leicester. Mara with the throw-in on the far side. 15 minutes to play here on Talksport 2. Saints still leading by 3-1 as they were at half-time, but now a high ball played forward looking for Yates, but it was well read by Stevens, who nods it down to Bednarek, and it's all the way back to Bazunu. Now Bazunu has got support from Stevens again, and at times Southampton have had so much time to play the ball out, and people know, they know a potential vulnerable area because we've seen it so far this season. We saw it recently when Bazunu gave a goal away against Plymouth.
Yeah, I understand, you know, but when Southampton have the ball in this area of the pitch, they're not that's not troubling you. So you've got to make a decision if you want to go and hunt it, where you're going to leave holes in behind, where they have the quality to play through you, or you sit and say, right, okay, when you come into that middle third, that's when we're going to press. You know, and I think you've got to mix it up. When there's opportunities to go and do that, if it's a sloppy pass or a head down, or you're really on the front foot, then you can take the game to Southampton. But you can't go hell for leather for the full 90 minutes.
Well, Patino has just been caught now by Walker Peters. It will be a free kick for Swansea, midway inside the Southampton half, and we have 13 minutes to play. We've had no goals since half-time, and Luke Williams has at least seen his team stay in the game, so is now the time they maybe go for it and try and get something.
Yeah, I think they have to. I think maybe the substitutions of he wanted them to have more of an impact, because I felt when he brought them on, Swansea were on top, as in they were kind of looking the more threatening.
A high ball towards the far post. Darling nods it down into the penalty area. Nodded clear, though, by Rothwell, and now an opportunity for Fraser to bring it forward, but he's taken down from behind by Darling, and that's got to be a yellow card.
Yeah, to be fair, I understand, you know, the frustration there. Great ball control from Fraser as well, but Darling, he might have got a touch on the ball, but he's definitely came through Fraser to do so. He had no he never even got a touch on the ball, Nigel. Just had no consideration for Fraser there whatsoever.
Downs finding Manning again, and Southampton here are so comfortable, leading by 3-1 with 12 minutes to play. But now it's been given away by Stevens cheaply. Here is Patterson inside the penalty area, and Yates somehow misses from a yard. That is incredible. That is the miss of the season from Jerry Yates. He's a yard out in front of goal, and he failed to hit the target.
Well, I've got to say, Patterson's was a shot, Nigel. It wasn't a cross to Yates. And Yates has basically made the contact while the ball touches the post. So it's like all you're trying to do is steer it goalwards, but it touches the post and the foot at the exact same time. So I wouldn't say it's as blatant a miss as that, because it's a shot from Patterson. We're looking at it on the monitor, and you correct me if I'm wrong here. But
it's given away by Stevens under no pressure whatsoever. Patterson's shot.
Oh, I'm wrong. You're right. He's a yard from the goal. He is overstretching for it. I thought it was a connection with the post and foot at the same time, but it's all foot. And if he steals it on goal, it's the easiest goal he's ever going to get.
He's hit the post from
a yard, but he is overstretching for it. Well, it's a massive, small margins, isn't it? That puts Swansea right in the frame to take this game on. And he knows, you look at the reaction of Yates as well. He's trying to anticipate it. He's just got to work his feet. I don't know why he overstretches that right foot. See if he takes another step, he can then just tap it in.
I mean, look, it's easy to say from here, but
I've been there, Nigel. You know,
I know you've been there. Yeah, I wasn't going to go into that, but
I'm surprised that you weren't.
No. You know, it's.
But yeah, you take that big.
I've got to work with you for the next 12 minutes.
You take that big step when you don't have to, and it's just about working your feet a little bit quicker. If Jerry Yates does that, then he's coming onto it at the right time, and it's Swansea right back in the game.
Well, they've had two great chances. The Patino miss, and then that one, which.
It's positives, isn't it?
It's got to go in, though, isn't it?
It's positives for Williams. Whatever he said, they've implemented it against a very, very good Southampton side. But at the minute, that should give them confidence to really go for it for this last probably 15 minutes all in.
10 minutes of normal time to play. Patino now coming forward again, and here's an opportunity for Patterson. Oh, it's turned onto the post by Bazunu. Brilliant save by Bazunu, and Patterson inches away as Swansea hit the woodwork for the second time in 2 minutes.
Well, it's an excellent save, isn't it? Patino falls into the place of Patterson, comes onto it. The power, the accuracy was.
Humphreys hits it now from 25 yards, and it's saved by Bazunu. A more comfortable save this time, but again, Swansea should have scored, but it's brilliant from Bazunu.
Yeah, well, you've done everything right, Patterson. It's going right into the kind of middle right-hand side. Bazunu, strong right hand to this. I tell you what a save that is. Forces it onto the post. I don't know if he got two hands behind it or not, but it's a great strike from Patterson.
Maybe took a deflection as well on the way through.
I tell you, it's a good, strong right hand that from Bazunu. What a big save that was.
Well, Southampton living dangerously here, 3-1 up, 9 minutes to play. But Swansea have had their opportunities here to put pressure on Southampton, and they've not taken them, and that will infuriate Luke Williams, because 3-2 with 10 minutes to play, you never know.
Yeah, you see infuriating now if it comes in at this result. I don't think he hammers the players. I don't think you can hammer the players. They've went out and they've improved after a very difficult first half. They've created. It's all about taking the positives out of it to take that into the next game, Nigel. And I think that's where the onus will be from a manager in this position.
Fraser finding Walker-Peters. And now Fraser again. And Southampton here just looking to maintain possession, but it's been given away by Rothwell. And now Rothwell fouls Allen, and it will be a free kick for Swansea. And there's a bit more urgency from them now. Patino drags the ball away from the challenge of Downs, but then he's lost out to Armstrong. And here is Walker-Peters, who brings it forward on the far side. Downs providing the width. Walker-Peters, though, turns into trouble. And it's quickly won back and played forward by Patino. The ball then strikes the referee, Oliver Langford, who apologises because Swansea were on the counter-attack there, and it's a drop ball and it's back to Grimes.
Yeah, again, I thought it was excellent from Swansea, playing out which you want them to see. Langford the referee gets in the way there, but it was because Kyle Walker-Peters was in such good possession that the referee's trying to get as close to that scenario as he possibly can.
7 minutes to play on Talksport 2. Norwich against West Brom coming up at 3 o'clock. Arsenal still leading by 3-0 against Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Over on Talksport 2, on Talksport rather, here on Talksport 2. We have a weekend of action from the EFL, which will continue tomorrow at noon with Leeds taking on Preston with Mark Williams and Adrian Clark. As an opportunity now for Balassi to cross into the penalty area. Yates on the stretch, 6 yards out. It comes to Joe Allen with the shot, and it's blocked by Bednarek 6 yards out.
Well, it's an excellent bit of ability down this right-hand side. Yannick Balassi, little step over. Ball's coming back in.
Into the penalty area. Balassi with a header, and it's another brilliant save by Bazunu to tip the ball behind for a corner.
Has to be in the back of the net for me. Balassi, free header, watching it all the way. It's not, he has to generate the power himself, but it's right at Bazunu. Makes it easy. Just put that back to where it comes from. The goalkeeper has no chance whatsoever. It's a great ball in from Balassi, that earlier one. And then it's kept alive by Jerry Yates. It falls to Joe Allen, probably just inside the penalty spot, and he hits it at the players that are on the floor. You just got to pick his spot and pass it into a spot in the goal, but lift it off the floor.
Corner kick again for Swansea, which Tymon will take on this near side with 6 minutes to play, and Southampton still leading here somehow by 3-1. Tymon's corner, high to the far post, and everybody ducks out, and it's gone straight behind for a goal kick, and there's a sense of anticlimax here for the home supporters. But now Bazunu has gone down inside his 6-yard area and may require some treatment here.
Well, I'm sure he's not time wasting, because this is just getting put on at the back end here. I was looking at Balassi. Look, he's so direct. A couple of step overs. This is an excellent ball in. Jerry Yates keeps it alive, and somehow they scoop it. It falls to Joe Allen, basically just inside the penalty spot, but he hits it off the bodies that are on the floor. Now you think about Joe Allen. If you stood 12 yards from Joe Allen and said, hit me in the chest every time, he could do it 10 out of 10. And that's what he's got to do in that position when the goal's in front of him as well. Just pick his spot, pass it in. The header from Balassi, he's got excellent power on it. It's a great save from Bazunu, but I think he's just got to feel that, try and feel it back exactly where it came from, into that top left-hand corner or left-hand side of the goal as he's coming onto that there.
Well, Swansea now will be regretting the fact that they were so passive at times during the first half. They were overwhelmed in the first half, to be fair to Southampton, because now, the way they played in the last 15 minutes or so, it's been a real contest at 3-1 down.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Nigel, but I think Southampton have taken the foot off the pedal, because the first half was so comfortable for them. No matter what the manager tells them, it's that mental side. They're really enjoying the game in the first half. All the players, how many opportunities that they should have done better with. So they're thinking it's just going to be a gimme in the second half, because no matter what Swansea done, they were completely in control. Swansea came out a little bit more aggressive, winning second balls. All of a sudden, Southampton are in the game. But how many clear-cut opportunities has Swansea had? And that's whereas when you're doing the team analysis, Luke Williams, he'll be doing this tomorrow or the day after and saying, right, look, these are all the positives. This is what you've created. On another day, we're right back in the match. We're probably even ahead, but in saying that, Southampton have had their fair amount of chances as well.
Still 3-1 to Southampton here. Arsenal still leading Crystal Palace by 3-0 over on Talksport in the Premier League. And in the Women's Super League, Arsenal have just taken the lead against Everton. Caitlin Ford with the early goal there. And from the Women's Super League tomorrow afternoon on Talksport 2 at 2:30, we have full commentary of Manchester City against Liverpool following Leeds against Preston. And on Monday night, a choice of listening, Brighton against Wolves on Talksport, Leicester against Ipswich on Talksport 2. And unless we have a dramatic comeback here from Swansea, and they've shown signs of it, Ipswich will be playing to try and regain their place in the top 2 behind Southampton. Now Darling on this near side, just checks back. He's got support from Wood. And Swansea have looked much better, actually, with a back four. Yeah, I agree. You know, I think it's you get that kind of extra player in attack as well, an extra option on the kind of defensive side for Southampton. They've got that extra player that they've got to kind of deal with. I feel the distribution, Matt Grimes has been excellent. I think Joe Allen coming on, seeing a lot of the ball as well. Just they've been more of a threat. And now the flag's been raised against Patino. I think he was offside when he received the ball. But it was Southampton who initially gave the ball away, but it was a Swansea boot that poked it forward towards Patino, who was coming back from an offside position. That's fair enough. Yeah, it was, and I think he's trying to leave it. And then all of a sudden he's came alive, but yeah, much better winning those second balls. Really, I think there's a lot of positives for Luke Williams to work on. 17,356 the crowd here today, and there was a public show of support during the first half for the steel workers at the Talbot plant, only a few miles away from here, following the news of the job losses yesterday. Swansea City, always a club who are aware of their surrounding communities, and it's been a very difficult day for so many in this part of the world. As Southampton look to bring the ball forward again with Shea Charles on the far side, who came on recently. And now another opportunity for Patterson to try and break forward. He's managed to regain possession and hold on to it. Grimes wide towards the far side, and there's a crossing opportunity here for Timon down the left. It's back towards Grimes again. Humphreys is square of him, and Swansea here have given Southampton time to regroup, but now Grimes on the charge down the left, fires in the cross looking for Yates, headed away at the near post by Stevens, and it will be a corner kick. Yes, quality. Grimes, like you say, great quality down that left-hand side, driving forward, excellent ball in. And like you say, Jerry Yates' his movement, yeah, it was defended well. In fairness, Yannick Bolasie in the right areas as well, anticipating that it's just going to get flicked onto him there as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of positives. Substitutes coming on, making positive impact as well. Big opportunities created by all. Patterson now with the corner, high towards the far post once again, headed away by Sekou Mara, and Grimes went for the first time volley, got it all wrong off the outside of his left foot, and it sliced well wide. And we are deep into the 90th minute here with Southampton leading by 3-1. Yeah, I think he's just reacted a little bit late there. I think in hindsight, you know, he'd probably take a touch and then manipulate it and get the shot away. He does have that quality, both feet as well, to take that on the half volley, but the connection just wasn't right. And there will be a minimum of 7 more minutes here. So there is still time for Swansea to do something remarkable, but they need 2 goals. But they do have possession inside the Southampton half. And they will look back on that flurry of great chances, twice hitting the post. Jerry Yates missing from less than a yard. Arsenal now lead by 4-0 over on Talksport. Gabriel Martinelli with the latest goal there. And that game has gone the way that many people anticipated. Arsenal roaring back to form after their recent problems. And Manning will take the throw-in on this near side for Southampton. In towards Mara, but Darling quickly wins it back for the home side. Now Humphreys. It's not been entirely straightforward for Southampton in the second half, but they've somehow managed to retain the 2-goal lead they built in the first half. As Humphreys plays it wide to the far side again. And Timon. And now Patino, as a number of home fans begin to drift away from the Swansea.com stadium. Arsenal now lead by 5-0. And Gabriel Martinelli with another. So Crystal Palace will be looking over their shoulders once again towards the wrong end of the Premier League. Of course, things are rather dispersed in this current round, but they will have a week off, having gone out to the FA Cup, and will then need to very quickly focus on the midweek round. As Darling with a throw-in, he was looking for Patterson, who had his back turned, and Southampton quickly win it back. Charles looking to find Armstrong on the far side. It's eventually cleared away, though, and here is Allen. On towards Patino. Balassi demanding the ball wide on the far side, the left now. Look at the use his pace, Balassi. Balassi fires in the cross, and Bazunu gathers well inside the 6-yard area.
Well, there's no answer for Balassi, have they? You know, he gets the ball, he's so direct, great little ball across, good hand from Bazunu. This is where I want someone to get across the face. It was Bazunu taking that inside his goal. So I've got to say, someone getting across the front post there, getting a little touch. That's what it is. It's an excellent ball from Balassi, but someone's got to break their neck. Maybe if Balassi gets his head up, looks at, maybe they can try and pick someone out, maybe hang it up, but you're just playing into another strength with Bednarak and Stevens now there that can go put the head on.
3 minutes of added time played. Southampton still leading here by 3-1. All the goals in the first half. And Swansea seem to have blown themselves out after what was an intriguing late flurry of chances, but they just needed one of them to go in. A couple of excellent saves from Gavin Bazunu, twice hitting the post. Now Allen in towards Patterson. And it's quickly won back by Allen on the halfway line. Fraser believes he was fouled. He can't believe it that no free kick was given. But now Grimes quickly plays it forward. And here is Timon. Wide towards Balassi again. Southampton appeal for offside. Nothing given. Balassi comes in field, fires in the shot right-footed. And it's over the top.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that again. Balassi, as soon as he's come in, he's went power. And I think he just had to feel it. You know, just try and guide it. He's onside there, but he's done everything right. Come inside, and it's that bit there. He's just tried to go and put as much power in it as possible. That one on Ryan Fraser, Joe Allen's actually about to pick him up because he thinks it's a free kick and then realises the game's carrying on, so he just tries to get up and support.
Well, Luke Williams has seen his team create the opportunities during the second half, but unlike Southampton in the first half, they've not been able to take the chances. Arsenal have beaten Crystal Palace by 5-0. Everton are now level against Arsenal in the Women's Super League. Katja Snoes with the equalising goal. And Arsenal looking to respond to their defeat in the North London derby before the winter break. As Rushworth clips it wide towards the far side, and it tells you about the swing and opportunities. Southampton had 17 attempts on goal in the first half, 10 on target. They've had 4 attempts in the second half, none of those on target. In contrast, Swansea have had 10, and 4 of those have been on target.
And 4 big, massive opportunities for Swansea. And like you say, it's this is what the Championship's all about on your given day. I think Swansea have been outstanding this second half, so much so that...
Here is Patino coming forward now. He was clipped by the retreating Shay Charles, and it will be a yellow card for him. He was sent off by Oliver Langford earlier this season, and it will be a free kick here for Swansea with 2 minutes of added time to play.
Yeah, you know what, it's maybe too little too late. They do have some fantastic dead ball specialists. Is it Patterson and is it Grimes there as well? But again, it's just it's a silly free kick to give away, isn't it, from Charles?
And Swansea will have Jamie Patterson and Charlie Patino over the free kick. Patterson scored in the first half, of course. A player who found himself on the fringes of the Swansea first team under Russell Martin last season. And Swansea are employing the draft excluder here. Carl Walker-Peters is the player lying on the turf. It'll be Patterson with the left foot or Patino with the left. It's Patterson who curls it right-footed, and it's tipped over the top by Bazunu.
Yeah, quality from Patterson. Lots of goalkeeper. He goes goalkeeper side as well. But again, it's like it says, he's just got the power on it. Bazunu not taking any chances, just helps it over. Comfortable one for him though.
And the rain now teeming down here at the Swansea.com stadium, just in time for everyone to go home. Patterson will take the corner, deep into the 97th minute. High towards the far post, Darling challenging for it. He's been caught, and the referee has said it's a head injury, and he has waved on the medical teams. Players from both sides are down. Darling is the Swansea player down. And I think it was Bednarek who went down for Southampton, but he's quickly back on his feet. And Bednarek looks to be okay, but Darling may have more of a problem.
Well, the referee's seen this straight away, so Harry Darling rises above everyone else. Happened to me, broke my nose, but he's got to the ball first, and then Bednarek's come in late. Is that not a challenge then?
Well, the two coaches are deep in conversation here at the end of this game. And I'm not too sure what's been said, but it looks to be fairly amiable. Maybe they're just having a...
Well, 10 hours, wasn't it, they used to spend together? Probably just saying what we do for dinner tonight. What do you fancy?
Maybe not sure about that. But it all seems fairly amiable enough, and Luke Williams will know that his team were outplayed by Russell Martin's side in the first half, but they've come back well in the second half, but haven't scored. And we're now deep into the 99th minute here. And Darling will make his way off towards this near side. Looks to be okay. And I'm not sure what the referee's given here.
Well, it looks like he's going to give a drop ball, but for me, Darling has won the ball cleanly. And then there's a head collision. You're saying head collision. There's contact. So talk to me. Is that, we'll have to see it. They're not even showing it on the monitor, but he's just given a drop ball to Bazunu here.
And we'll be getting reaction from both camps following this game. Sam Allison, the fourth official, is just checking on Darling on this near side. Bednarek also makes his way off, and a drop ball has been given. And they could basically blow the full-time whistle here, because we're heading towards the 100th minute. Southampton leading by 3-1. And Bazunu will clear long downfield. Darling and Bednarek still waited to come back onto the field of play. Bazunu's goal kick has gone straight out of play on the far side. It's all the way back towards Rushworth at the other end. And here is Grimes coming forward now for Swansea over the halfway line. Both Darling and Bednarek are still off the field here. I think the referee's forgotten about them. And the full-time whistle has gone. And Southampton are into the top two in the Championship on the back of a dominant first-half performance when they scored all of their goals and at times overwhelmed Swansea. The home team came back strongly in the second half but failed to score. But Russell Martin has made a winning return to South Wales, and his team looks set for a return to the Premier League if they can maintain these sorts of levels. It is finished. Swansea City 1, Southampton 3.
Thank you very much, Nigel. Blimey, bearing in mind there were no goals, 4 of them in the first half, but no goals in that second half. The second half was even more pulsating, it felt, Chris, and Swansea really turned it on in that last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I thought they started better straight from the get-go the second half. I thought winning second balls, really using the ball a lot better, which was a must. Was very, very poor in the first half, but then that last 15-20 minutes, big chances, and that's what it is. It's small margins, isn't it? Put one of them in, Jerry Yates gets that goal, and Swansea probably go on to get something out of the game, because I felt that the onus was on them, and then Williams makes the changes, and it's like, if anything, created the far better chances in that latter period.
Yates's miss at the far post was just head in hands moment, but Bazunu was brilliant and has probably made sure that his side walk away with all 3 points, which before that last 20 minutes you'd have absolutely said that they deserved. It was so comfortable for them, and then it's almost like they just went, all right, this is almost over, here we go. And they're not going to be able to do that because they're up to second, albeit on goal difference, and of course Ipswich go to Leicester on Monday. Top of the table clash live on Talksport 2 from 8 o'clock. They need to keep their previous run of form absolutely with it and full focus if they want to be going back up to the Premier League.
Yeah, you're spot on, Faye. What I will say, it's a different pressure when you're the hunting pack and you're being hunted. So when you're in those automatic places, and you're looking behind you, I've been in both scenarios, and it's a different pressure on that group of players. But they put the points on the board. They've broke club records. They can sit back and watch that game listen to that game on Monday night, and then we'll see where they are. But they're in fantastic form. The best performance I've seen a Championship side for a long time was that first 45 minutes from Southampton.
Yeah, they were such good fun to watch, weren't they? It's going to be a fascinating end to the season at the turn of the year. They've got Watford in the FA Cup next, and then Rotherham are at the bottom of the Championship, so you would expect them to keep that pressure on the top two as well. But that project at Swansea is long term, as you mentioned in commentary, Chris, and proof really that lots of work to do, but proof also that they've got exciting times ahead for them if Luke Williams is able to implement his methods. It's been a pleasure to have your company. I'm going to have to head to Carrow Road soon because we kick off in 25 minutes of our second game. That one went on so long, but safe journey home.
Thank you. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.